This is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching Full-Time MMA. Don't be a bagel bite, bagel bitch boy, bagel bitch back.
What's going on, Full-Time family? It is time to start the show. We got some MMA news to talk about. It is Monday, October 22nd. There was no UFC or Bellator this weekend, but we had some fun watching the PFL. We caught onto the PFL a little late, but probably still a little earlier than most. And I'm not seeing the chat popping up, so I definitely got to fix that. Because I know Mr. Perfect 2005 and Stamina MC and Jacob De La Cruz are in the building. So let's fix that. Let's see. Pop out chat. Make sure we get that up on the screen for everybody to see on the group chat. All right, close it out. I'll fix that. Just 1 second. Boom. Where's that? Where's the group chat? Right there. Properties. Fixed. Bam. I just reset my internet, so we shouldn't have any connection issues. There we go. We're in the building. So, salute to, and damn, the bot's not working either. What's going on here? We had some technical difficulties, but that's all good. We'll get that fixed. 1 second. All right. So let me try and make this open. Pin. All right. We're good. Even if this doesn't work, that's not even necessary for the stream. We got some MMA news to talk about. It's Monday, so salute to everybody, whether you're doing cardio, exercising, working, in traffic right now. I don't know what the hell that just did and why that just took that off the screen, but that's some craziness. So we'll just use this one. Nope, that's not the right one. All right. I see. My stream wants to be a little difficult today, but we'll get it fixed. We will get it fixed, if anything. Okay, so just blinked off the screen for no reason. We'll try and get that back up. That is, so we'll use this one. We gotta fix it. Put it on a different one. Jon Jones. Okay. There we go. We'll use that one for now since we want to be difficult. Got it fixed. Can't hold us back, Full-Time family. Technical difficulties a little bit, but here we are. Now, let's pull up the chat. Yeah, and the bot's working. Mr. Perfect 2005, Almighty Khan, Leon Dubson, respect to Leon Dubson. What's going on, good sir? Almighty Khan in the building. Yo, all you sell your watches now, they are obsolete because we all know what time it is. It's Khabib time, or is it Tony time? Corey McGilly says Tony time. Yo, that makes me want to play Tony Time one time, but we got some shit. We're going to play some songs throughout the show. But with that being said, we're going to do it a little differently. Instead of just starting the show off with the song, since we have that little starting thing already, talk about a little news, and then we're going to be talking about Jon Jones, Daniel Cormier, and of course the upcoming fight between Daniel Cormier and Derrick Lewis. So we'll play it in between there, more like a little intermission. So salute to Almighty Khan, though. He said, sell your watches because we already know what time it is. It's Khabib time. Mr. Perfect 2005 says, what up, dog? Leon Dubson. Shout out to all the OGs in the countdown, says Jacob De La Cruz. Salute to the Full-Time family. Yes, sir. So, with that being said, guys, Jon Jones is coming out and downplaying his 2 drug test failures, and I'm not gonna lie, man. I kind of believe him. I fucking listen to him and I'm hearing what he's saying. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy because I don't the facts don't lie, right? And the facts say Jon Jones failed drug tests, but the facts also say that it was tainted dick pills. That was the facts. They tested all the little fucking blue rhinos at the gas station or wherever he got them, and they came back tainted. So that was facts. That was not proving steroids. The first failed drug test, it was dick pills. They tested it. USADA tested it. The same people that said he was guilty or the same people that said he was innocent. Same with all these other fighters that only failed one time. So after he failed with the dick pills, you could say he was innocent. This time, he failed a second drug test, which looks bad, especially when you consider it's crazy because we're talking about the USADA drug test and people always bring up the hit and run. Well, to be honest, that doesn't really have anything to do with the drug test. People say, oh, well, it shows character. Like, that's kind of a hard correlation. You know what I'm saying? Because you could literally do that with everybody. Like, if anyone's ever done anything they regret, you could say, oh, that showed their character. They probably taken steroids. Like, I don't know if that's the case. So that always gets brought in, and maybe that's why people believe this about Jon Jones. But even with the second failed drug test, which made it look worse, they said it was a trace element, and Jon Jones is saying the amount of steroids found in his system was like a pinch of salt in a swimming pool. USADA did say it was a very, very trace amount. They also said it wouldn't have affected his performance against Daniel Cormier, that trace amount. And just being a fan, I can't go into microdosing for you and tell you what the fuck that means. I can tell you what it sounds like. And I can tell you that a lot of other fans and people that do know what they're talking about use that term a lot when it comes to UFC fighters. But honestly, even if that was the case, USADA came out and said they had no reason to believe Jon Jones was using this intentionally because this amount was so small. USADA said this. But then at the same time, you see Jon Jones is having to use this snitching clause to get out of this second failed drug test, even though USADA believes he had no reason to cheat there and that he wasn't intentionally doing it. But whenever you hear what Jon Jones is about to say, I'm not going to lie. It makes me look at everything and it's like, what the fuck? Because you know the saying, right? Especially with Jon Jones. Let me down once, okay? Or no, that's not the saying. But they say, when I go to my funeral, I want Jon Jones to be one of my pallbearers so he can let me down one more time. But the saying is, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And so with Jon Jones, there's a lot going into it. And so, but what he had to say here, I kind of believe him. And it's not even everything that I just said. Also, when you look at the facts, it's kind of hard to believe Jon Jones, even though it's trace elements. Because when you look at the timelines match up. When he fought Ovin St. Preux, it was after USADA. Didn't look amazing. You can call it ring rust. But he didn't fail a drug test either. He fights Daniel Cormier and knocks him out. And he fails the drug test. So when you look at it like that, also, if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, that kind of fucking looks suspect. You didn't look great in the fight that you didn't fail a drug test. But here's what Jon Jones had to say, because all that, I picked DC to win the rematch, fucking all that. I still kind of believe Jon Jones. And maybe he's just one of the best fucking liars on the planet. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But he's also one of the best fighters on the planet regardless, right? He still has the skill. And that's another thing. See, either way you want to go, whether you believe Jon Jones is a cheating snitch, you got facts to back you up. And if you believe Jon Jones is innocent, you have facts to back you up. If you believe Jon Jones is innocent, USADA's telling you, look, it was trace elements. We have no reason to believe he was cheating. Also, he predicted he was going to fucking knock Daniel Cormier out 4 years before he did it the exact way. He said, I'm going to kick you in the fucking head, and that's exactly how he did it. That's, you know, and you know, people have came out and said, yeah, the steroids can affect the kick. He predicted that shit. That was skill. It's crazy, dog. But here's what Jon Jones had to say. Here's what Jon Jones had to say, man. He said, I would say to all those people, I would say that would be people looking for an excuse to not give it to me, not give credit where it's due. Because the first situation, it was proven. Well, both situations, whatever was in me chemically was proven scientifically that the amounts were so small there was no possible way to affect my performance in a positive or negative way. The 2 times where I failed drug tests or performance enhancers, it's been so small that it can't affect your performance. And he says, the dick pill situation, that was proven it was a mistake. Who takes a male enhancement pill expecting to fight better? I mean, nobody. We actually found the company. We found the exact pills. We ordered the pills, and the pills came back with stuff in it that wasn't supposed to be in there. Such a small amount that it's not going to make you fight any better or make you stronger. Well, not at least in the fight. It's definitely going to make you stronger, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. Then in the second situation, we just found out to have USADA say the amount of steroids we found in your body, John, it was like taking a pinch of salt and throwing it in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. It was such a small amount that it's pretty obvious that this was an accident. And then for this to be something that got into your body 2 weeks before the fight. So 2 weeks before the fight, you took a pinch of steroids and threw it in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. It's very clear this is nothing that helped you knock out Daniel Cormier. And he says, for those who saying, well, he must have been cheating, it's like, okay, after what I just said, if you still want to call me a cheater, then you just don't want to admit that I'm pretty fucking good at this. Now, I'll admit Jon Jones is pretty fucking good at this, as I just did, but still, also, I'm telling you, the facts say this motherfucker's cheating. And he's really good at this fight. I'm not one of those people. I'll tell you, Jon Jones is one of the greatest as far as skills and one of the greatest of all time if we're not talking about natty goats. But what I'm saying is the facts say this motherfucker failed 2 drug tests. And also, and this is what I just thought about when I was reading this. The dick pill situation. Okay, I hear you. The dick pills were the cause or whatever. We'll say that, right? But we don't know. We don't have the details. We do know what happened this time, though. This time, Jon Jones failed the drug test, and he tested all of his supplements, 14 supplements, and they never found the contaminated supplement. They were just trying shit. 14 fucking supplements. Check this, check this, check this, check this, check this. Hoping that one of them motherfuckers would be tainted, and you can say, oh, that's the tainted supplement I was taking. That could have been what happened with the dick pills. Failed a drug test. Did a quick Google. Whatever the fuck it was. Clomiphene, whatever. I think he popped for the same shit as Brock Lesnar. But he could have Googled, hey, what is a tainted clomiphene supplement? And they said Blue Rhino 60. So they tell USADA, hey, I was on the Blue Rhino 60s. Go check them out. They're tainted. And they test the Blue Rhinos and they're tainted. You know? So, the way that this one played out is real suspect, and it's the second failed drug test, and they couldn't find the contaminated supplement. And also, if USADA believed he was really innocent in this situation, no intent whatsoever, I don't think he would have got the max suspension and had to use this whole snitching clause. So, there's a lot going into it, but the facts say this motherfucker was cheating. But, you know, he's, you know, not coming out and saying that. But it's an interesting listen, and it's really compelling. And I could really see a lot of the Jon Jones stands or fans or Jon Jones simps. You take this shit and you run with it. USADA's even saying it was a trace element. It was a fucking grain of salt. It couldn't help the knockout. Shit. I don't know, man. But this interview, I believe, was on the JW Raw exclusive news. So maybe Jackson Wink has their own. They got their own website, it looks like. Their own podcast, maybe. I'm sure they're on their fucking talking all about that Mike Perry, Donald Cerrone shit too. You know what I'm saying? But Jon Jones giving them the exclusive. So yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie. When I was first reading that, I was like, I see the argument that he's innocent. The tainted dick pills, the trace amount. But at the same time, it's a little too sketchy for me, man. And the facts, that's not what the facts say, you know? So it is what it is, though. Jon Jones saying the amount of steroids found in his system, and this is coming from USADA, he said it was like a pinch of salt in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. So, yeah, man. With that being said, let's check out the chat. Full time, I think you're on to something, bro, with this scouting for tainted supplements as an excuse. Also, there's an official word of USADA saying a pinch of salt is the case. I guess I haven't heard any note. There's not an official USADA. Well, no, USADA hasn't said that actual pinch of salt Olympic swimming pool, but they did say it was very trace amounts, and they did say it was such a small amount that they don't believe that. I believe they said it wouldn't. They don't believe Jon Jones did it intentionally because they said it's too small of an amount for it to make sense for Jon Jones to, for it to be in his system 2 weeks before the fight. They said he was passing all of his tests except for that one, and it was such a trace element. They just said they couldn't really make sense of it, but I don't think they actually used the word like grain of salt in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. But yeah, I do think there's something about testing 14 supplements. Like, what, were you taking all 14 of these things? And none of them were contaminated. And Chael Sonnen made this point, and I don't know, I know Jon Jones and Chael Sonnen is fault. Chael Sonnen might be a little biased, but he does make very fucking great points in this case, and he's also dealt with USADA himself. But he says, listen, guys, if Jon Jones failed a drug test, and he can't figure out which supplement was contaminated, and he's still doing everything that he was doing, you would expect him to fail more drug tests if he was innocent. If he was innocent, he would keep failing drug tests because he's taking a contaminated supplement and he can't find which supplement. But for some reason, Jon Jones is testing clean, so clearly he knew what he was taking and stopped taking it. Chael said, you know why I'm not failing drug tests anymore? Because I knew what I was taking and I stopped taking it. If Jon Jones can't figure out what was contaminated, then why isn't he still failing drug tests? So, yeah, Chris Crook said, I feel you sound like Jon Jones is downplaying, and that could be it, So for the Jon Jones simps, same with anybody, right? Anybody, even if you're guilty of some shit, a lot of, if you're a public figure, if you're got a name to protect, an image to protect, like let's say it's a fighter and they actually are ducking somebody, they're not going to come out and say, hey, I'm ducking this guy, because it's going to make their fans say, what, you duck people? You got to say, I'm not ducking him, it's because of this and this and this, and his fans will go, oh, it's because of this and this and this. You don't tell your fans you're ducking or you lose your fans. You got to make up an excuse. You don't tell your fans I was fucking cheating because I needed to beat DC, because their fans will be like, what? Oh, fuck that. You won't have, you'll lose your fans, you lose sponsors, boom, 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 you lose followers. So you have to downplay it even if you are guilty. Infamous says it's almost never a large amount because people cycle out of steroids. Yeah, if people cycle out of steroids, like GSP said, he told you how you can beat it. Say, I'm going to fucking this place way far away. Go up there, get on your cycle. All right, right when you're off your cycle, come back. You shot to test you. You're off your cycle. So maybe Jon Jones was like right off. I don't want to go too far with the speculation, but I'm just saying it. Maybe it was at the end, like you're saying, and that's why it was trace elements. And then you also hear the word microdosing thrown around. What the fuck does micro mean? Trace amounts. Trace amounts. So, like, yeah, so, hey, how do you have 4 different people talk about Jon hiding under an octagon? Yeah, and it came from Jackson Wink, allegedly. That's where the rumors came from. You had to be someone from Jackson Wink to hear that story, and according to Chael, he says, you could imagine Jon Jones, biggest star in the sport, people get jealous. People come into Jackson Wink, might be a little jealous, but, they ain't going to say nothing. Honor amongst thieves, whatever, in the gym. They're not going to put it out there publicly. They don't want to cause a rift in the gym, but fighters talk. So if there's a little jealousy with Jon Jones and you're talking to another fighter, you know how that goes. You might throw a little shade. Yo, you hear about the time that motherfucker was hiding under the octagon? So, and it came from yeah, that story's been around. That's a pretty concrete fucking rumor. Yeah, it's a pretty crazy rumor. But yeah, I hear what you're saying too. Q80 Pitbull says there's the new steroids that cannot show in your system after 24 hours. Yeah, and there's a lot of motherfucking shit out there, and they're always working to get better. They're always working to beat USADA. You know, and if you're one of the biggest stars, you probably can get the best shit. And another thing that doesn't get brought up, I mean, just because, you know, there's a lot of Jon Jones fans. He's one of the biggest stars of the sport or whatever. But I just noticed this, and I don't even bring it up because it's not that big of a deal because we don't know all the details because I wasn't covering the NFL as much. Like, I'm actually starting to watch the NFL a lot more lately. I mean, I don't know why, whether it's just because, you know, fucking my brothers and socially, like, I've actually been tuning into that shit. It's actually pretty, I was out of it for a while, but maybe it's also partly because fucking I've been less motivated a little bit because YouTube fucking, you know, been fucking me over and shit. So it's like, man, what the fuck? So I'm not just focusing only on MMA anymore, you know, because I was like, oh shit, this shit's dope. But now it's like, okay, we're just gonna be gradual. But either way, another topic for another day. But when Jon Jones popped, I don't know if it was the first or the second time. I think it was at the UFC 200 time. Like a couple weeks later, his brother did in the NFL. Like, dead ass, bro. Like, Jon Jones did, and then, like, the next week or the week after, his brother, I don't know if it was Arthur Jones, Chandler Jones, he's got a couple brothers. One of Jon Jones's brothers also got popped, like, a week or two after Jon Jones. Were they on the same fucking Blue Rhinos? Were they fucking... I don't know. But you know them NFL guys, man, and man, fuck out of here. They ain't got no USADA, dude. They ain't got no USADA. So, it is what it is, man. It's just a situation. There's going to be people that believe each side. I'm going with the facts. I think I got to, and I like Jon Jones, man. I don't hold it against him. I don't look at him like a fucking evil scumbag piece of shit. I don't root for him to fucking lose his livelihood, go home. None of that shit. I just think he might have got caught, and I don't think he's the only one. Like Nate Diaz says, there's probably, I say, man, I don't really want to have to put a number on it, but I'll say a good fucking, probably 85%, man. And that's probably being pretty lenient. 85% of people might be doing something. Maybe. I don't know, because USADA's pretty good at their job, but Khabib said the number's over 50%. Nate Diaz says everybody's on that shit. And, I mean, just logically, sometimes I think, like, if there are people cheating, you gotta be a good-ass fighter to be a champion and be beating these fucking cheaters. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what Daniel Cormier said. That's why he didn't use an excuse when he fucking lost to Jon Jones. He said, I've fought other fighters that are on steroids. I don't feel like Jon Jones is the only fighter I've fought that is on steroids, so I'm not using that as an excuse, because I beat all the other people on steroids. So yeah, man, you gotta be a fucking beast like Daniel Cormier to be just really out here fucking up all these dudes on steroids. You know what I'm saying? And DC, you know, he came from the Olympics. He was fucking shit up back then. He's got legit wrestling skills. It don't matter how much fucking steroids you're on if you're a boxer or something, right? Like if you're Floyd Mayweather or somebody. I don't give a fuck if you're on steroids. You're not gonna beat a well-rounded MMA fighter in an MMA fight. Steroids ain't gonna help you win an MMA fight. You're gonna get taken down, and you ain't gonna be fucking Popeye down there. You ain't gonna have the skills to get up. So the skill can beat steroids, but if you got skills and steroids, whoo, you might be a whole nother level. Oh shit, Jon Jones was on a whole nother level, guys. Okay, I'm just kidding. We just figured out Blue's Clues. I'm just kidding. What's going on, family? It's time to move on to the next topic, though, for real. And we're getting into Jon Jones' biggest rival, so it's not too far off. We're getting into Daniel Cormier. But that being said, EDP's ass says Jon Jones got caught again. Jones needs to go to PED Anonymous. No, this was that second time. He's talking about the second time. He's opening up on that. Cam Murphy says, if you have the bag, yeah, as I said, they can be shitheads about it, and that goes for anything, really. Weed, coke, etc., you're nicked. Salute to Cam Murphy. Chris Crook says, yeah, even the empty bag gets you cleaned up. I'm going to do a Psycho and Challenge TRT Vitor, says Chris Crooks. DC versus Fedor, Battle of the Dad Bods. Yo, DC versus Bader. How about that? If Bader can beat Fedor, and he opened up as a pretty big favorite, then Bader will actually be Bellator's champ, light heavyweight and heavyweight. Holy shit, dude. Then you could have like DC versus Bader. Mousasi, I'm telling you, he's giving it to. I mean, you know, I got Mousasi as the best middleweight on the planet, but I'm not gonna lie. There's a couple he could lose a fight, but he's gonna win 2 out of 3. He might have some bad matchups, but he's still the best. But Mousasi, man, I think he's giving it to. And Whitaker's my boy. So, you know, light-skinned MOBA players, stand up. Now y'all don't even catch that reference because you don't even know what a MOBA is. It's a type of fucking video game. And Robert Whitaker, I seen he plays that shit on one of his stories. He plays like League of Legends. I don't play League of Legends, but that type of game I fucks with. You know what I'm saying? So I fuck with Robert Whitaker, just to break it down for you guys. But I'm just being unbiased. Gegard Mousasi is the fucking GOAT / Moose. For a reason. Greatest middleweight on the planet. Fuck you talking about? The G-Moat. Know there's some dad bods out there that are better looking than their sons. Just saying, says Cam Murphy. There's some ugly ducklings out here, she's saying. PK Boxing and MMA in the building. Salute to PK. But yeah, let's move on to the next topic, guys. We got Daniel Cormier saying that he could keep the UFC light heavyweight title if he loses to Derrick Lewis. Yeah, that's funny, right? Because that would mean like Jones and Gustafsson would have to fight like for an interim strap. But wouldn't that be crazy? Oh, that would be crazy, you guys. Listen to this. What if fucking, right, they announced Jones versus Gustafsson, and it's likely going to be for Daniel Cormier's title, right, light heavyweight belt. But he's defending his heavyweight belt now. So what if they are like stripped DC last week? Like when they announced Jones versus Gustafsson at UFC 232 for the light heavyweight title, what if they stripped DC? Like, all right, DC's just the heavyweight champ now. We're going to put this for the belt. And then he fights Lewis and the upset happens. DC would go from being the double champ to the #1 contender so fucking fast. Because he just got stripped of the light heavyweight belt because he didn't plan on losing the heavyweight belt. Lewis takes the heavyweight belt. So now he's stripped and he lost his belt. And DC ain't got no belts. So he's like, whoa, Batman. Before I get stripped. Before I get fucking stripped. Let me fight this fight. Because you know what I'm saying? If I lose this belt, I still want to have a title. So he's saying he could keep the light heavyweight title if he loses to Derrick Lewis. Like he hasn't been stripped yet. But he said, because if I lose to Derrick Lewis, then who's to say I don't go, hey, I'm going to go defend my light heavyweight title. Now you can't take it. But this is the thing. The last time he defended his light heavyweight title was in January, so it still hasn't been a year. But I'm thinking, if you lose to Lewis, you already had a banged up hand. Now you got beat up. You're going to have a medical suspension where you got to heal up your hand. Probably got a concussion because if you lose to Lewis, you're probably getting knocked out. So you're going to have a concussion likely and a banged up hand. So you might be out until what, February, March? So they might still have to strip you because as far as the light heavyweight division, unless, you know, DC's a big name now. They might give him some Conor privileges. They might let him hold on to that belt a little longer. But with Jones versus Gustafsson coming up, unless they're going to make that for an interim title, you're going to have to get stripped, big homie, if you're going to be out till February or March if you get knocked out. So I know, you know, it would be nice. He says, I am the light heavyweight champion until those guys fight. So if the light heavyweight champion loses his light heavyweight title or loses his heavyweight title and goes, wait, I'm willing to defend my belt. So now we have some conversations to have. But then that would mean he would have to fight in December again if he would defend his belt. Unless he, because they would, I don't think they're going to postpone Jon Jones versus Gustafsson for that. But if he's willing to defend his belt on that date, maybe they put Jones versus DC3 on that date. But if you just get knocked out by Lewis and you still got a banged up hand, you ain't going to be fighting in December. But he is throwing a monkey wrench in the game. I got to be honest with you, Cormier said, over the course of my career, I haven't been done like that. I've never had anything promised to me that hasn't been delivered. The UFC has been good to me, and I don't worry about that. I know I'm going to fight Lesnar, and there's nobody or anything that could change that. They've never done me like that, so there's no reason to believe it would start now. There's anxiety every time I fight, but that doesn't matter. You got to remember to think, oh man, it could be all gone in no time. Last July, I had 0. I lost. Then they said, Here, you can have it back. I mean, really, I had none. I had no titles from 2009 to 2013. I had no UFC titles for about a month in 2017. I had no UFC titles. Not having a UFC title isn't new to me. It's just now I have them in abundance. I got 2. Put some respect on League of Legends, says Chris Crooks. Yo, I just haven't ever really played it because I usually, when I came up, I was on the Xbox. I used to be a Halo guy back in the day. And, I just got this new fucking computer. And I think you can only play League of Legends on a computer, dog. So, yeah, I just got this computer when I got this channel. So I ain't ever really, you know what I'm saying? Way back in the day, I used to, when I was probably 13-ish, I probably had played on the computer games a little bit, had my little run. But, yeah. You gotta have a computer to be on that League of Legends, dog. But respect on League of Legends. I know it's definitely the biggest game out there. Robert Whittaker plays that shit. Stipe plays Fortnite, bro. I'm telling you, it's crazy how many champions are actually gamers, bro. Stipe was saying he plays Fortnite, talking about Ninja as his duo's partner. Max Holloway, I know he plays Fortnite. I've seen him on Twitch. Demetrius Johnson, Fortnite. Fucking Sean O'Malley's not a champion, but Fortnite, he's a fucking beast at both. Bro, a lot of these top actually champions and shit. Even Max Holloway, he's a gamer. He don't get as much shit for being a gamer. I guess he's not as open with it or out there with it. He's not on Twitch as much, but he be on Twitch a little bit. Max Holloway, and it's crazy because it's some of the best fighters in the world, right? Demetrius Johnson, fucking Max Holloway, Robert Whittaker. These are legitimately some of the best fighters in the world that earn their keep. They didn't get pushed up, because the UFC was interested in their fucking gaming career. They didn't get a push. These dudes had to go the hard way. Holloway had to fight 11 fights in a fucking row to ultimately get his title fight. DJ, we know he ain't ever been a fan favorite, or it doesn't even seem a UFC favorite, maybe for whatever reason. But both of those guys earned their keep. Robert Whittaker had to go through a fucking murderer's row. Jacare Romero twice, didn't ever get to fight Bisping or GSP. He had to go through a murderer's row to get to the belt, and all these motherfuckers just so happen to be gamers. Ain't that a little crazy? I'm on the blackout Black Ops 4-tip Fortnite, says Chris Crooks. Hey, Fortnite for life. That shit is free. Throw me the 60. I'll be on there with you, though. PK Boxing and MMA. He's responding to Chris Crooks. Gaming enhances muscle recovery, lol. The stoppage was not legit, says Benji. Uncle Dana would throw DC to the wolves for some change. Jacob De La Cruz says, Gegard is nice but I doubted him after the Hall TKO, though. That was a fluke. You seen what he did in the rematch? It was a fucking straight beatdown like the first fight should have been. The Uriah Hall TKO was a fucking fluky. He fucking threw a kick and Gegard just so happened to luckily duck into it. That motherfucker didn't aim to knock Gegard out. He was throwing that to the body, I believe. And Gegard just so happened to be was he shooting for a takedown or just ducking? He just randomly got kicked with that. That was unintentional. That was fluky. He got that rematch and put the beat down on him. But it's all good, you know what I'm saying? But, so yeah, Cormier saying that he could keep the UFC light heavyweight title if he loses to Derrick Lewis. Derrick Lewis also has something to say. But first, before we get to what Derrick Lewis has to say about not caring about titles and respect and mixed martial arts and just being our, fan favorite Derrick Lewis, why everybody loves him, we talked about Daniel Cormier. I think it's a good time for the intermission. Y'all know what time it is. It's the Fat Devil. It's the Rap Devil. Daniel Cormier MGK remix. Let's get it. Make sure you subscribe to UFC Yankovic if you haven't yet. Link is in the description. Somebody grab him some chicken. This fucking guy is fat. How the fuck he gonna beat me and Volkov just put this guy on his back? I hope you know no one is scared of you, especially not DC. And you can call me Daniel Cormier or Double Chip, you know you cannot beat me. And yeah, I'm talking to Lewis. If you want to scrap, we can do this. I know that you're black, I know you're a beast, I know that you're fat and you're stupid. I'm back on my bullshit and lacking my cool. At UFC 230, I'll spaz on this fool. He's not gonna beat me because he's lacking the tools. This nigga can't breathe when he's splashing the pool. No cardio, hope. And it's probably gonna show when I take him down and I beat him up, because that's all that I know. They call me Daniel Cormier, yeah, I'm coming to defend my title. If he think that he can beat me, then this motherfucker's psycho. Bitch, I'm gone. I'm sick of your bad back and you're still fat, let's talk about it. I'm sick of you being black and wearing MAGA hats, let's talk about it. I'm sick of you getting smashed and then coming back, let's talk about it. Or we can get dirty at UFC 230 and you can get sparked about it. I'm sick of your bad back and you're still fat, let's talk about it. I'm sick of you being black and wearing MAGA hats, let's talk about it. I'm sick of you getting smashed and then coming back, let's talk about it. Or we can get dirty at UFC 230 and you can get sparked about it. Let's fucking go, full-time family. So yeah, man, UFC 230 is coming up. We got a new headline. We got Derrick Lewis. We got Daniel Cormier. And Derrick Lewis, man, the black beast, swiggity swinging bang. He's coming through, man. Like I'm turning left, I'm biggity busting the right back into action after UFC 229. He's headlining UFC 230. Holy shit, Derrick Lewis. What a fucking turnaround. Ain't that crazy? And he was getting whooped. He was getting his fucking ass whooped by Volkov, guys. Volkov very well could have won that fight. If you want to talk about skills, if you want to talk about mixed martial arts, if you want to talk about well-rounded, you're talking Alexander Volkov. He's dangerous. If you want to talk about motherfucking whoop your ass, if you want to talk about clutch gene, if you want to talk about H-Town, we're talking about, if you want to talk motherfucking Popeye's chicken, we're talking the black beast, Derrick Lewis. And he won the fight. He ain't never been fucking around, and we all know that. That's why he's a fan favorite. We all love Derrick Lewis. He was baked in his interview. You know, he recently did some media, and he said he was fucking baked. And if you recall in his post-fight interview, he was like, Joe Rogan, I want to come on your podcast and smoke some weed with you. You know, after saying his balls was hot, and yo, fucking love this guy. And some people, you know what I mean, the hardcore fan, you know, the mixed martial artists that respect the game, they might not like what Derrick Lewis had to say here, but hey, man, I think that they might even give Derrick Lewis a pass. I think Derrick Lewis gets a pass. I think everybody loves Derrick Lewis. But with that being said, he says, I'll try to win the belt, but I really don't care if I get it or not. I'm not a mixed martial artist. That's probably what they're looking at. I don't blame them. I don't train like a mixed martial artist. I don't respect the sport like everyone else does. I'm just a brawler. I go in and I just fight the fight. I don't care about the submissions and the technique, the bowing, showing respect. I don't care about none of that. I'm just coming to fight. And so, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. He ain't looking to come in here and put your ass in a triangle choke and work on all that. He says he don't even train. He said, well, an interview he did recently, it might have been the same interview. He said, I don't even be in the gym like these other guys. Now, I know he is in the gym, but he says, like a lot of these other fighters at the top level, they live in the gym, and that's why they got great cardio, but I don't even be in there that often. Now, he lowballed it. I think he said like 30 minutes a day. That's clearly not fucking true. He said some low-ass number. He's low-key a comedian as well, bro. Derrick Lewis is a troll, a comedian, all that. That's why I fucking love him as well. But with that being said, I don't even be in the gym as much as these other guys. And his cardio has been a little suspect. You know, he sometimes, if it's his cardio. I remember when he fought Mark Hunt, bro, it looked like his cardio. I was like, this nigga's out of gas. So he's out of gas. This is like a 5-round fight. He is fucking done. And then he was like, yeah, it was my back, my fucking back. And then like pictures came out and this motherfucker was like eating fucking barbecue chicken backstage. That's some Derrick Lewis shit, bro. That's a lot more realistic. Derrick Lewis was eating barbecue motherfucking ribs or chicken backstage right before the fight. And that shit tired him the fuck out when he was trying to fight for 5 rounds. Fucking Derrick Lewis, man. Fucking triple OG. He says, it doesn't matter who's next. I believe Stipe probably should have been next because all the people that lost their belt, they got a title shot right back. If it's Miocic or Lesnar, that's fine. Whatever the UFC wants to pay me for, that's fine. I don't care who's next. Derrick Lewis is just down to bang with anybody. But as far as what he had to say here, you know, about Stipe getting, you know, should have been next, I think we all are in agreement with that. As far as who deserves the next title shot at heavyweight. I mean, it's out of Curtis Blades and Stipe. Now, there are some people that will say Stipe just got knocked the fuck out, so he probably just needs to chill a little bit, right? Dana White said that in the past about kind of like Luke Rockhold. You just got knocked out in the first round. Meh, you don't deserve a rematch. Meh. What the fuck, dog? Everybody knows that was a fluke. Are you kidding me? You don't really let Michael fucking Bisping, the number 8 contender, walk around here as the champion for a motherfucking year and I don't get a rematch because I got knocked out? And then you got Cody Garbrandt, you got Joanna Jacek, you got Conor McGregor. You got a lot of people that can get immediate rematches after getting knocked out. Stipe, no. TJ Dillashaw didn't even get knocked out. No rematch. Pretty much it's whoever the fucking UFC wants to give a rematch. Ain't no fucking standard. Ain't no, well, if you lose this way, you get a rematch. If you have this, no. If the UFC wants to give you a fucking rematch, you get a rematch. And if they don't, good luck, buddy. You're under contract. You better take who they give you, or have a rocky relationship with your boss. You know? So, with that being said, Stipe didn't get the immediate rematch. Now, I gotta say this. For TJ Dillashaw and the Stipe Miocics and the guys that don't get that immediate rematch, sometimes the UFC is saving you from yourself. You know, they feel like the UFC doesn't love them, or the UFC doesn't care about them, or they're not giving them the push when they get skipped over. Sometimes they're saving you from yourself. Because I went back in since all the madness, I watched the TJ Dillashaw Cruz fight again. I'm like, man, how fucking close was this thing for him to not get this thing? Either way, it was a split decision. I had to fight for Cruz. It wasn't even as razor thin as you might think, you know? Like, I actually had the fight for Cruz. I was like, oh shit, Cruz won. But with that being said, if there was an immediate rematch, and TJ loses the immediate rematch, where's TJ now? Same with Stipe. If there's an immediate rematch, and Stipe loses the immediate rematch, where do you go from there? I guess you're still at the top a little bit. And I'm just kind of, you know, I guess looking at the glass half full, because there is something to say. There is something to that. When you take an immediate rematch, a lot of the time the fight goes the same way. Now, the DC Stipe fight might go a little different because people talk about the eye pokes, but those were back and forth. Yeah, DC probably had like 3 eye pokes to Stipe's 1, but they were poking, motherfucking, there was eye pokes. You know, it was back and forth. So there's something to that. Maybe the rematch goes different. Who knows? But there's also something to the fact that Daniel Cormier has one of the best legacies in the sport. He's about to be retiring soon. And this is also a business, and also you might lose, and so, you know, and the UFC, of course, and I guess they would anyway. They've denied, like, yo, we don't have anything against fucking Stipe. We love Stipe. Come on. But from the actions, some people believe otherwise. Oh, and another thing, honestly, I was a victim of this. It kind of helps. It kind of helps. Now you have to do your part and win fights, right? Because what would fucking suck is if Stipe had to fight like Curtis Blades next, and he lost that fight. Because I think Stipe can probably beat everybody in the heavyweight division, except for maybe Curtis. I mean, and I think he beats Curtis Blades. I'm just saying, I just think that's a closer matchup. I think anyone other than that, I think Stipe probably beats in DC. But I think Curtis Blades is going to be a problem. Maybe it's a little too early for Curtis Blades. I just really think he's going to be a fucking problem. So, if Stipe had to fight somebody and actually fucking lost, then that would be shitty. That would be terrible. That wouldn't have worked out. But we saw in immediate rematches sometimes the same result happens. What happened when Henry Cejudo took time off? Even though he took a loss, actually. He lost that split decision to Joseph Benavidez. I thought he won it. Either way, he took time off, came back, and got the belt. And now he's better than he's ever been. So, who knows? Maybe after the UFC gets all this fucking circus, you know, the Ultimate Fighting circus part out the way, and it's time for fucking Stipe to finally get a shot, he can break his record again. After the Brock Lesnar and DC and the Jon Jones, all that shit's out the way. DC's retired on commentary. Jon Jones is a light heavyweight. Brock Lesnar's on SummerSlam. Stipe, when the heavyweight division is back again, he can probably break his own fucking record. And he said he wanted to do that. Win his belt back, defend that motherfucker 4 times. So who knows? But either way, Derrick Lewis, who's getting the title shot, he also is coming out saying, hey, probably should have been Stipe. But it is what it is. So yeah, man. We'll move on to the next topic from there. Still sticking with UFC 230, though. Dustin Poirier and Nate Diaz was supposed to be on the card. Dustin Poirier is coming out now in interviews, and he's talking about how difficult to deal with Nate Diaz was being. And shoot, We saw this publicly, and that's not even half the shit that happened privately behind the scenes when the UFC was scrambling to find a main event and working shit out. And and there was a point also, I don't know, there was also a point where these guys like came out together. Like, now that the fight's canceled, they're like taking shots at each other. But there was a point where both of these motherfuckers tried to make a power play together. I don't know who texted the other one. I don't know if their managers talked. I don't know what. But 10 minutes after the other one, they tweeted like at the same time and said, "Hey, UFC." Or no, they didn't even say, "Hey, UFC." They announced that they were fighting for the 165-pound title. Nate Diaz said, "Hey, everyone, I'm happy to tell you all that I'll be fighting for the 165-pound UFC title. It's an honor to bring in this division." Dustin Poirier was like, "Yo, everybody, it's a fucking honor. 165-pound title going for gold." Like, they did it at the same time. It's like, what the fuck? Were you guys talking to each other? Or did your man, like, what DM? Like, hey, man, let's try and force the UFC to open up a division. I don't know what happened with that. But since then, Nate Diaz, after Dustin Poirier got injured, Nate Diaz is saying that it was a mysterious injury, and he's saying that the whole game is silent because everyone's scared of him, I guess he thinks. Even though Masvidal waved his fucking hand out there like, yo, as soon as, like, he didn't even let no time drop. And so Nate Diaz was like, "All right, man, I'm going back on vacation until the game's, like, not scared anymore. Salute to Masvidal for not being scared." Motherfucker, then fight Masvidal! My bad. A little frustrated as an MMA fan, with my emotions being played with by Nate Diaz. But, I'm over that. I'm over that. Fuck it. Go back to bike season. We'll see you when we see you. Maybe, I think Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor, I don't think their egos would allow it. That would be such an awesome co-main event to Khabib and Ferguson. All on the same card. Khabib and Ferguson, we already know it's a fucking wild card. Any one of them can fall out. But that's the fight we need to see. You put Khabib, you put Ferguson, boom. If one of them falls out, McGregor steps in. And then Nate Diaz can not fight, since I don't even know if he wants to anyway. Put McGregor in the main event. You either got McGregor versus Ferguson, McGregor versus Khabib. Either way, everyone's on a full camp. We know Khabib and McGregor. We know they're always down to fight short notice. And we know good goddamn well Tony Ferguson would fight McGregor on short notice if Khabib fell out. I'm just saying, if McGregor and Diaz had of course, they're not going to be nobody's co-main event. They're not going to be nobody's co-main event. So, that sucks. But that would be an awesome co-main event. But either way, let's get into some of the details about how difficult to deal with. And I believe Dustin Poirier here, man. I believe fucking Dustin Poirier. Even though the injury was a nagging hip injury, Dustin Poirier's never pulled out of a fight. And if you think he's scared of fighting one of the biggest names in the sport who hasn't been fighting for 2 years, you are delusional. If you think Dustin Poirier, even though he lost to Michael Johnson and Conor McGregor, and Nate Diaz beat those guys, I still think, if you think Dustin Poirier is scared to fight anybody, you're fucking delusional. He just came off of a fight with Justin Gaethje, the fucking human wrecking ball, highlight, whatever you want to call him. He's a lot more like a wrecking ball than a highlight, because after you fight him, your legs, like, I really feel like Justin Gaethje is the UFC's wrecking ball. Like, some of the fighters that, they ain't necessarily getting the hugest push. The UFC might be trying to keep him down a little bit. While we got McGregor and Khabib fighting for the title, Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, James Vick, these guys who are really fucking good fighters and they're trying to come up. And the UFC's like, slow down, young buck. We got plans with this title here. They throw that fucking wrecking ball, Justin Gaethje, at him. And good fucking luck. Because he ain't coming in. He's coming in to do damage. He's coming in to break your fucking legs if possible. All that. So he's coming to test your heart, your will, your skill, all that. The UFC throw fucking wrecking ball. So Poirier had to fight him, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, he took that fight with the wrecking ball. We knew what Gaethje brought. He took that fight. He ain't ducked no fights. He ain't waiting. This whole lightweight division is log jammed. What's Poirier doing fighting? He fought Eddie Alvarez, bullshit ass, no contest, illegal strike. Didn't get the immediate rematch. Instead, Alvarez got to fucking go on tough and do the whole Gaethje thing. So Poirier had to fight Alvarez. Then he had to fight... Who did he fight before fucking Gaethje? Because he ended up fighting Gaethje after Alvarez. Oh, no, he fought Gaethje, and then he had to fight Alvarez. I'm going to pull up Dustin Poirier's record, because he's definitely not ducking no fades. Dustin Poirier, UFC. I think he fought somebody in between Gaethje and Alvarez right before. Anthony Pettis. So he lost a no contest to Eddie Alvarez. There should have been a rematch. A lot of controversy to that ending. He got hit with an illegal strike. So, controversy there. Didn't get the immediate rematch. Had to fight Pettis. TKO fight of the night. Meanwhile, Alvarez is on The Ultimate Fighter getting that bag and also getting to fight Gaethje. So Alvarez got to fight Gaethje. And then, you don't get a rematch still. You got to fight Gaethje after that. And then you finally get your rematch with Alvarez and you fucking win it. Dustin Poirier is a savage. He's been actively beating the best fighters in the world. Nate Diaz, on the other hand, also a savage, hasn't been fighting in the other 2 years. So there's no way you can fucking convince me Poirier is scared of this guy. It's not even close. Not even close. Not even. So with that being said, like after the whole withdrawal, Nate Diaz was like, this guy mysteriously pulls out, and now fucking the game goes silent. All right, brother. But yeah, so he says, we don't even have enough time to talk about all the times that it was changed. The fight was on, the fight was off. It was just crazy. There was a lot of crazy stuff going on. He says they wanted to switch it to 5 rounds, man. It was just so messed up, dude. Nate was being hard to deal with, I believe. Every weight class they offered it at. 155, and he wanted 160. I agreed to that. He kind of negotiated himself out of the main event spot. They offered us the main event. I accepted. Nate over-negotiated. They lost the main event. It was just back-to-back days of him trying to have his way, honestly. A lot of these fans are blowing me up on social media saying you blew an opportunity, you blew your big payday and stuff like that. They don't understand how contracts work. I don't get pay-per-view points to fight Nate Diaz, and I don't know what anyone thinks is going on here, but I took this fight because I didn't take it was a big money fight, but because it was a big opportunity. It's a huge headache with all the stuff that he was playing. So he says, I have my eyes on everybody, man, honestly. Like I said, after my last fight, I want big fights. My goal is to be a world champion, so whatever fight makes sense, I felt like this Nate fight made sense. If the UFC can get him to play ball, maybe we'll do it. If not, we'll see what shakes out, man, and what's next. But I need big fights. Like I said, so much stuff went on behind the scenes. Even if everything went smooth, I'm not sure if this fight would have even went through with this guy. But if the UFC wants it, I'm down. If they can't make it happen, or if they can, I'm down. So he's saying he's down. Nothing he could do about the fucking injury. But he did make a point about all the games Nate Diaz was playing. And that's something that was a little evident. We don't know all the games and we don't know all the negotiations, but I think it's fair to assume Nate Diaz was being sort of difficult. We seen him on social media at one point come out and threaten to pull it. Actually, we've seen him twice threaten to pull out of the fight. One time, he said Nate Diaz wasn't down to fight, or he said Poirier wasn't down at 165, which we know that's true. He would have fought Nate Diaz, at 165 in the main event. Like, Poirier's a guy that just keeps accepting this contract. Fuck it. Okay, what? We're doing what? 160? Okay, fuck it. Okay, let's do it. 155? Okay. 165? Okay. Well, now he's saying co-main event. What the fuck is going on, you guys? But then at what point in all of this did you motherfuckers decide to text each other and announce this fight? Or did your managers? So, whole lot of fucking tomfoolery going on with this fight. I'll tell you that much. Between Nate Diaz's side, and we seen him, like I said, publicly at the press conference when they announced McGregor versus Khabib. He walked off stage and was like, fuck this, I might not even fight. They're under-promoting, not over-promoting. Threatened to pull out of the fight then. Fight was in jeopardy. Then when he thought Dustin Poirier wouldn't fight him at 165, he put that out there quick. Dustin Poirier won't fight at 165. Fuck that, I'm not fighting. And Dustin Poirier's like, whoa. No, yeah, I will fight at 165. What the fuck are you talking about? Yes, I will. Then Dustin Poirier would tweet some shit like, Nate, don't fuck this up. So a lot of madness, and it's crazy because ultimately it's Dustin Poirier who had to pull out of the fight with the nagging injury, a hip injury. And it seemed like Nate Diaz was like halfway out of the fight. And by the way, it didn't even make sense that Nate Diaz took this fight, because he hadn't fought no one else. The UFC had offered him title fights in lightweight, offered him title fights at welterweight. He didn't come back. He ain't fought for 2 years. And all of a sudden, he's fighting Poirier. and he's halfway in, halfway out the fight. So here we are today. Dustin Poirier's opening up on it because a lot of people are giving him shit. And the one thing, though, that I did like that he made a good point of, he wasn't getting no pay-per-view points for this. It was just an opportunity. It wasn't no payday. He was not making $0 extra for fighting Nate Diaz. $0. If his contract says he gets $50,000 to show and $50,000 to win, when he fights Nate Diaz, that's how much he's getting. $50,000 and $50,000 if he wins. You get pay-per-view points when you're fighting for a title or I believe in a main event. Only the biggest stars can negotiate pay-per-view points without a title. And Dustin Poirier, he's on his way to being a big star. Now, that's something that would have helped him become. If you can beat one of the biggest stars of the sport, it propels you to being a bigger star, of having a bigger name, a more of a household name. That's going to help you a lot, but you're not getting any more money. You ain't making no $1 million to fucking fight Nate Diaz. You're getting the same amount of money. So you didn't blow no big payday. It's a fucking injury. And like Khabib says, I'm going to make some quotes from the anti-bagel bot. Nobody protect from injure. That's definitely got to be a quote. Nobody protect from injure. So, Dustin Poirier, Nate Diaz back and forth still after the fight's not happening. But, you know, when the fight was happening, your boy UFC Yankovic, if you ain't subscribed yet, make sure you do that. We had the Nate Diaz, Dustin Poirier hit him up, man. It was ready. It was locked. It was loaded. We got another small intermission before we finish the show. Let's go. First off, fuck Nick Diaz and fuck you, Nate. East side, when we ride, come equipped to bang. You claim to be a fighter, but don't fucking fight. You puff on fat joints, sit and stuff your pipe. I'm an American top team, training hard as shit. Nathan Diaz and the Scrap Pack are some mark-ass bitches. I'm throwing punches up in bunches at your grill. Keep them coming, cause I'm gunning for the kill. You know the deal. Nick Diaz, where's your girl? I heard you beat her. Maybe you're fighting her cause you can't buy a win in the UFC. And Gilbert Melendez currently riding a 4-fight losing streak. Y'all got Cesar Gracie fight team in these streets looking weak. I let you niggas know that it's beef for life, then let the east side ride tonight. Scrap Pack murdered on wax deceased. Fuck with me and get your ass beat. Grab your Glocks when you see the diamond. Call your squad when you see the diamond. When I rock you, bitch, I'm coming for the finish. UFC 230, Nate Diaz gon' get it. Nigga, I hit him up. Get out the way, yo, get out the way, yo. Dustin Poirier's nuts just dropped, yo, you got the fucking nerve to talk about my brother and his girl. So at UFC 230, I'ma fuck up your whole world. Is it Poirier or Poirier? Cause I ain't never heard of ya. Chokes and slap attacks when I'm serving ya. It's Nate, it ain't Gaethje, no, you can't break me. I broke Michael Johnson and he had your face aching. And I broke McGregor, they both almost knocked your head off. The only way that you can fuck with me is if I fell off. And if I was baked, but since that ain't the case, at UFC 230, bitch, I'm stocked and slapping your face. I hit him up. Take money. Hey, full-time family. UFC Yankovic, make sure you subscribe. We're trying to get it to 1,000 subscribers. One of these days we'll be there, and when we do, we're doing a giveaway. I don't even know what the giveaway is yet, you guys, but we're doing one. We're definitely doing one. I'll probably let you guys decide on what it's going to be. I mean, be a fucking, I don't know. I don't care what it is. Something might be a song or an actual physical item I mail you. I don't care, but that is the goal. 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't yet, that would be awesome if you click the link in the description and subscribe to UFC Yankovic. We got some more MMA news to talk about, though, you guys. But before we do that, let's pull up the chat. Give some shout-outs. Exist BMX in the building. Stamina MC says, you claim to be a fighter, but don't fucking fight. Let's go. Exist BMX says, Tony time. We'll end the show with that. John Taylor says, it's nice when you don't have to bow down and lick the hand that feeds you. Yes, sir. Infamous MMA says the Diaz bros live in their own world for sure. I just want to see them both of them box. Yeah, man, you mean like go to boxing? Nick Diaz was recently talking about boxing Canelo. He said he's a bigger draw and a better boxer. Might be seeing that. Who knows? Who knows? But whether they box, whether they fight, fuck it, man. I just like to see either one of them in action. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if they are making money outside of getting punched in the face and all of that shit, you know, decent money, then fucking props to him. I actually ain't mad at that, but yeah, I would just like to see them back in action as a combat sports fan, more of an MMA fan. But shit, if Nick Diaz was boxing, I'm watching. If he's boxing Canelo or whoever the fuck, I'm tuning in. When is the next panel full time? I don't know. Probably what's tomorrow. We can do one for tomorrow's show. I don't have any work yet, which that's not a good thing. I'm trying to get some work this week, so but as of right now, I don't have it. So we got time for a panel. So tomorrow we can do a panel tomorrow. I'm down. Tomorrow in the daytime. Tomorrow's show we'll do one for sure. With that being said, me either must be nice though, says John Taylor. All right, so with that being said, let's move on, man. Chris Weidman versus Jacare Souza slated for the UFC 230 main event. We did a show this weekend. Some of you probably have saw it, but if you weren't, because normally we do it every weekday. This Saturday, I believe, or was it Sunday? There was just a lot of stuff going on. I think it was Saturday. Yeah, before the PFL event, we did a show, and this was one of the things. Weidman versus Jacare is official. So Weidman staying on the card after Luke Rockhold pulled out with injury, and he's going to be taking on Jacare. I love this matchup. This is still a great fight. Yeah, we lost 2 good fights. This is the thing, though. We're not losing a number of fights. We lost 2 good matchups, but we still got a good matchup in return, and then an okay matchup. Because the David Branch versus Jacare fight, that was fucking fire. I was looking forward to David Branch versus Jacare. The whole creative call-out, ordering the fucking imitation alligator meat because Jacare wouldn't accept the call-out. He's posting Instagram videos with alligator meat. Got the whole gym doing the alligator, calling him out. David Branch got creative, some of the best call-outs out there. It wasn't a disrespectful, you fucking Brazilian fucking pussy, I'll beat the shit out of you, you son of a bitch, you suck. No, super fun call-outs, worked. They got the fight, and unfortunately, this happened. Rockhold was out. That's another fight that was awesome. Another one of the great matchups. Rockhold Weidman 2, the rematch we've been waiting to see, and now it's been canceled twice. If you guys recall, originally, Rockhold and Weidman were supposed to rematch. Weidman got injured. Bisping stepped in, shocked the world, changed the course of the middleweight division. Ended up seeing Bisping versus GSP, Rockhold and Weidman. Never got to see that rematch until now. It was scheduled for Madison Square Garden, and Rockhold gets injured. So now they're sliding Jacare out of the David Branch fight, plugging him into the Weidman fight, and they're plugging the killer gorilla, Jared Cannonier, into the David Branch fight. So it's Branch versus Cannonier and Jacare versus Weidman. Now, Branch versus Cannonier is cool, but it's not the same. But either way, Weidman versus Jacare, that's actually a really good matchup. Jacare just fucking knocked out Derek Brunson with a head kick. Chris Weidman, he was on a little bit of a losing skid before ultimately defeating Kelvin Gastelum. In that fight, he was even rocked early, but after that, he was able to take advantage of, I would say, the size advantage he has, being a natural middleweight and a wrestler over Kelvin Gastelum, and that's a bad matchup for Gastelum once he gets the fight to the mat. That's where he pretty much ragdolled him, choked him out. But Jacare Souza, you're not just going to choke him out as easily. You might take him down, but he's actually got some legit jiu-jitsu as well as striking. As we saw, still got a little bit of knockout power as well. Now, is he as good of a boxer as Kelvin Gastelum? Probably not. And also, he's a little older. Is Jacare in his prime? I mean, I guess that's arguable. He just knocked out Brunson, but you could say no. I mean, Whitaker versus Souza, that was an amazing performance by Robert Whitaker. But this is a winnable fight for Weidman, but also the matchups. If you're looking at the matchup, he's a wrestler fighting a guy that's more known for his jiu-jitsu. So you're going to be taking Jacare down, which is where he's comfortable being. So it's still a fucking great matchup at UFC 230. Great co-main event, but a little bit of a shakeup. So looking forward to that. Now we got Lewis versus Cormier and Weidman versus Jacare. It's going to be a fun fight. So we'll see what happens there. UFC 230, of course, headlined by what we were just talking about, Lewis and Cormier. Now, moving on to a little, I don't know, I'm going to say lesser news, but Khabib being presented with the first Russian UFC champ cup. A cup? I didn't know they had those. Following his win over McGregor. So, the first Russian UFC champion, Khabib Nurmagomedov, getting a cup over there. Football style, soccer, whatever you want to call it. Sharing him in the building. Howdy, fam. What's going on, brother? So, yeah, man. Doesn't sound like it from where I'm at. Stamina MC says, for either party, yuck. John Taylor says, not having to do Dana's bidding is always a plus, but Dustin getting burned is unprofessional for sure. Yeah, so Khabib, he presented with the first cup. Not nothing crazy here. I just thought that was, what was more interesting to me here was the fact that Khabib was the first Russian UFC champion. Andrei Arlovsky, not Russian, but damn, he's fucking close. He looks Russian sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Khabib Nurmagomedov, lightweight champion. Just thought that was pretty cool. He's getting definitely a lot of appreciation. I mean, he's a huge. He already was before a pretty big star, especially over in Dagestan and Russia. But boy, now he's a damn near world star. Like, I be listening to, because I've been watching more NBA and NFL. I've been watching both of them, actually. And part of it is probably because I've been low-key on FanDuel. My brother signed me up, like, $5, you get, like, 25, and, like, I hit on there, so I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I'm actually having some fun on there, so I'm listening to the shows I used to listen to, like Skip and Shannon and First Take and shit. But they talk about Khabib a lot. Like, you'll hear, what about Khabib? Shannon Sharp. What do you do when Khabib was on him? Talking about Conor McGregor. But the Khabib's, like, in regular rotation. When people talk MMA, it's not just McGregor. They're talking about Khabib now. I'm telling you, big shit. So, that's big for the sport, and gets to the first Russian UFC champ cup. So yeah, man, got some more MMA news coming up. Future president of Russia, Khabib Nurmagomedov, just giving surname. Hey, that's possible. I could see that. I could for sure see that. I forgot who pointed that out. They said Khabib has like 11 million followers, and one of those big name dudes, I think Kadyrov, one of you guys might have told me. I think he had like 3 million or 4 million, and they're talking about how much more of a reach Khabib has than even like the most powerful people over there, and how that influence is powerful or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I could see Khabib being a future president of Russia. That'd be pretty crazy, but I could for sure see it. UFC commentator Jon Anik inks 4-year contract extension with the promotion. There's a little bit of a shakeup. You had Mike Goldberg, John McCarthy, a lot of these guys signing on to do gigs with Bellator, Chael Sonnen, a lot of these people doing commentary work even for Bellator. And then you had the likes of the evil Joe Rogan. I know his name. That's crazy. It's slipping my head. You guys know who I'm talking about. Oh, why can't I think of his name? I'm having a brain fart right now, you guys. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy Smith, over with the UFC. Mauro Ranallo did a little work with the UFC. Like, commentators have been fucking doing ring around the rosy a little bit between organizations. And with that being said, looks like Jon Anik is with the UFC to stay at least for another 4 years. So that's good to hear. Jon Anik definitely good on the microphone, does the Anik and Florian podcast. So yeah, he's sticking around with the UFC for another 4 years now. He does commentary work with Daniel Cormier, Dominic Cruz, Joe Rogan. They've been trying to hold a lot of 3-man booths, 2-man booths, a lot of fun stuff like that. And Joe Rogan actually, even though Jon Anik's staying around, I think Joe Rogan might be edging his way out the door. Whenever there was the thought of Joe Rogan leaving the UFC, everybody was like, no Joe, no show. And, like, people were going to, like, no, there's no way we can imagine the UFC without Mike Goldberg and Joe Rogan. It would have been too much of a shakeup. So it feels like the UFC's kind of been, like, trying a bunch of... Joe Rogan only does, for one, he only does North American pay-per-views. So there's a lot of shows where Joe Rogan's not even on. And it's not as much of a deal, because there's a lot of really good guys filling those roles. Daniel Cormier, Dominic Cruz, Jon Anik, they're really fucking good at it. But people are just comfortable. They were comfortable with Mike Goldberg and Joe Rogan. And so you had to kind of ease them out the door. Joe's got a lot of shit going on with his podcast, and he don't even need to do this shit anymore. And I can only imagine it's hectic with so many shows, and it's something he loves to do, but he's also got stand-up comedy. So I think he's going to kind of ease his way out the door. But Jon Anik is staying around, it looks like. Given Surname says, did y'all hear that Rogan was getting Tony and Eddie Bravo on a show together? No, but that's going to be dope. That would definitely be dope. Infamous MMA says Khabib being a politician or some type of leader isn't out of the question. Yeah, no, not at all. I'm no Rogan fan, but I'd watch that. Tony and Eddie says Benji. Manny Pacquiao's politician, isn't he in the Philippines? Yeah, I heard about Manny Pacquiao. I don't know if he's a president or nothing like that, but I did hear he's a politician, maybe. John Taylor, not president unless Putin wants it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a a timeline on their presidency. I think Putin's gonna be. I don't think he has to leave in like 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So he'd have to like take the torch from Putin or something like that. But yeah, man, I can definitely see that. Jorge Masvidal vowing to restore law and order in the UFC, fresh off of his reality show. He's like, enough of the drama show bullshit, right? Like, you come off a reality show and you're ready to fucking. He's had enough of the fake shit over there, enough of the fake shit going on in the UFC. He's just ready to get back to the real, man. The real is back, I guess. No, but having a little fun with that. He is coming off that show. I didn't watch it. I think a lot of you didn't watch it. I think it was actually in Spanish, like for Telemundo, something like that. He was on some sort of like, and it wasn't just a reality show where it's just like all about, like fucking going out and partying and drama. It was actually one of the ones where you have like an activity with it. You're actually being physical and doing physical challenges throughout the show. But he's fresh off of that and he's looking to restore law and order. He says, I'm looking like I need to restore order in this sport. That's what I'm going to do. Law and order. That's what I'm telling you. I'm here to bring down the law and order. The good old-fashioned passionate ass whoopings. Getting your shoes coat and your hat taken. He said, no guns. No fucking Twitter wars. Just these fists up your fucking nostrils. Just ass whoopings. Good old-fashioned ass whoopings. And I'm going to bring a whole new community of people in there that are just going to appreciate that. They're not going to care so much for the talking. They're just going to want to see what they're just going to want to see people being violent with an art form to it. He says, that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm not saying I won't talk shit, because if someone talks shit to me, I got a mouth too and I know how to use it. He said, was it the best time for Khabib to do it as far as jumping over the cage? He was asked about that, because a lot of people, speaking as far as the lightweights are concerned, they're like, yo, do you think Khabib went too far when he jumped over the cage and, kicked Dylan Danish? He says, well, it wasn't the best time. But in the moment, the madness maybe, I don't know if that dude Dylan Danish leading up to the fight was talking hella shit to him and he was talking more shit to him after then, and Khabib was like, fuck it, bro, it's on. You can't get mad at him for doing what he does. He's a fighter. And so Masvidal on the way back, I actually think he's going to be fighting Leon Edwards at UFC 232 because Leon Edwards called him out and shit, and he was like, yo, what's up, pussy, blah, 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 talking that shit on Twitter, wolfing. Jorge Masvidal responded like, all right, pussy, it's on. UFC 232, you're a fake Brit, ready to whoop your ass, coming right back. So we might be seeing Masvidal versus Edwards, both ranked fighters, going down at UFC 232. Same card as Jon Jones versus Gustafsson, Cyborg versus Nunes. It'll be awesome to see Masvidal on that card as well. But with that being said, I believe he's already going to be fighting Edwards. It's not officially announced, but it sounded like he was signing a damn contract in his last tweet when he said, I'll see you at UFC 232. But with that being said, you got an unranked but very popular, maybe not to you guys, but I'll tell you guys from personal experience, this dude's popular. Siyar Bahadurzada on Jorge Masvidal's snub. He says he knows if we fight, he'll be in trouble. Now, I'm pretty fucking thirsty, and I should probably go get a water. Actually, I got one right here. It's not cold, but I'll take a sip. These guys have a little bit of a history. They were scheduled to fight in the past. It wasn't a fight that got set up, but Bahadurzada's opponent pulled out, and Masvidal agreed to fight him on a short notice. So for one, if someone agrees to fight you on short notice, I don't think they're too scared of you. But this was in the past. Masvidal agreed to fight him on short notice, and then he ended up having to, I believe, pull out the fight. Masvidal stayed on the card. So, I mean, if you pulled out of the Masvidal fight, it's actually might be the other way around, right? Masvidal stepped up to fight you on short notice. That's not what someone scared would do. And then you back out of the fight. Okay, but actually, it is what it is. He could nobody protect from injury. So, he said Masvidal stayed on the card and he wanted to continue to win and ultimately got ranked, and then their paths didn't cross anymore. But now that Masvidal is back, he's calling out Masvidal. And Masvidal had a little reply. It was indirect, but he said, if you're not ranked, please keep my name out your fucking mouth. A lot of people believe he was talking about Siyar Bahadurzada. Now, let me tell you why I know this guy's pretty popular. I think it's Afghanistan. He's a fighter from Afghanistan. I'm not sure the exact country or whatever the fuck. But whenever I was doing my videos right after the fight and I covered his last fight, bro, that video got more views than like all the fighters that on the card. And he was like on the Fight Pass prelims, but there's a lot of people looking for his fight specifically, and they weren't even speaking English, a lot of them. They just put the rose emoji, like, our King Bahadurzada, or our master, or we're so proud of you, Bahadurzada. Thank you. You represented so well, Bahadurzada. Fucking roses, roses. Like, they fucking love this guy. So he's popular in some sort of country somewhere. I don't know which one. I think it's Afghanistan because they put the AF. And I know my boy Stamina. I know he be putting them little letters there, so he probably could tell me what that means. Because you always put like London calling, and then you put like a fucking GB. I don't know that new trend, but I know a lot of people do that. And they put a little letter. I think it's a country letter. But yeah, a lot of people were doing that for him. So he's got a lot of support, and he's out here calling out a fan favorite for sure in Jorge Masvidal. But this is what he had to say. He says, I got 3 weeks out of the fight, talking about the Bahadurzada fight. He says, actually, my opponent got canceled, Claudio Silva. Then Masvidal took the fight. He wanted to fight me. I took the fight. I could have said no to him, but I was happy because he wanted to fight me. I took the fight and I got canceled, and he stayed on the card and kept winning his fights. So that's where he told the story. My opponent fell out. Masvidal agreed to fight me on short notice. I said okay, but then I got sick. So actually, it seems like he pulled out of the fight. Like, he might not have wanted smoke back then. But now he's coming out and he says, he's ranked and I'm not. But I'm back now, and I asked him to take the fight, and he's not taking the fight. He has a losing streak, a 2-fight losing streak. I'm doing you a favor. I'm giving you a good fight. I'm a stand-up fighter. I'm a warrior. You're a warrior. I'm giving you a good chance to come back to fight. Let's put on the show. Let's put on a violent fight for the fans. That's all the fans want to see. Knockouts and blood and violence. Let's do it. I think that he is the kind of guy that will stand and bang with me. That's why this fight excites me. If Masvidal takes this fight, which I believe he's not going to do, he'll be in trouble. He knows he will be in trouble, and he posted a picture and says, the size of my fist is bigger than most welterweights' heads. And he said the size of his fist is also bigger than Masvidal's head. So I hear you. This guy, I do know this about this guy as well. He also has called out Nate Diaz in the past. He's one of the guys that respectfully called out Nate Diaz. You know, when Nate Diaz, when it was after bike season, after he got offered the title shots, and he said, I'm not coming back until somebody, you know, motivates me, and people started cussing him out, and he's like, yo, if y'all want me back, y'all better ask respectfully. He came out and said, yo, Mr. Diaz, well, it would be an honor to fight you. Would you like to fight me at Madison Square Garden? It would be an honor. Like, he asked politely to try and get Nate Diaz to fight him. So, you know, this guy's calling for a lot of fights. This seems like clout chasing a little bit. You know, salute to this guy, but it's clout chasing. You're calling out guys that you know aren't going to fight you. And when you had the chance to fight Masvidal, who took the fight on short notice in the past, you pulled out of the fight. Now that he's ranked, you're willing to fight him, because if you fucking miraculously beat him, you jump into the rankings, but you know he's probably not going to take the fight. That's like somebody coming out right now and, like, let's say a welterweight, or yeah, let's say a welterweight that's fucking ranked 15. I'll go to the rankings just for a perfect example for you. Or shit, I can use a good example for you. Ooh, no, I'm not going to use that example. I was going to use Kayla Harrison, but that's a different example. It's not the same thing going on here. So let's look at fucking welterweights. Tyron Woodley. Let's say Gunnar Nelson started coming out and saying, yo, Tyron Woodley, you want to, or we'll use a top contender, because Tyron Woodley, we understand why he turned down the fight. Fucking, let's say Rafael Dos Anjos. It's like Gunnar Nelson coming out and going on a fucking campaign on RDA. Like, RDA, I know you're scared of me. I know you don't want to fight me. I'll fucking choke you out. And it's like, no, that's not why I don't want to fight you, dog. It's because you're ranked 14. It's not because I'm scared of you. It's because you're ranked 14. Masvidal, he doesn't want to not fight you because he's scared of you. It's because you're unranked. You know, and he's on a 2-fight loot. Like, that's just not, it's not a good fight for his career at this point. And also, the fact that he was calling out Nate Diaz, we know good goddamn well Nate Diaz ain't taking a fight with this dude, because half of you probably didn't really know his name before this. Some people do. Like I said, he is popular. He's definitely more popular than you might expect. But a fight with Nate Diaz, come on now. Nate Diaz? But it is what it is. Amadeus says, yo, what it's exactly like is Liz Carmouche calling out Vishev right now. We're actually going to talk about that. Do you think, actually, it might be, no, because actually Liz Carmouche actually has a win and she's ranked. I don't know about that. Liz Carmouche actually has a win over Shevchenko and she's ranked. So, I don't think it's like that because I was actually thinking, shit, what is Liz Carmouche's ranking? It's probably still pretty low. Let's see. In the flyweight division, she's actually ranked number 6. I mean, they're letting Jessica I fight ranked number 3 chick, but yeah, and she has a win. That's one thing she can say. Actually, Liz Carmouche has a great case for the fight. She's got a better case, in my opinion, than Sarge Eubanks. Except the only reason Sarge Eubanks got the opportunity, I think, is because she kind of won the tough show, but then when she missed weight, that kind of went out the window. But I'm just the reason I say, for one, her record. She's actually got I mean, it's 11-6, but I'm saying as far as fight experience, she's got a legit amount of fights. Now, is she the top contender? Should she get the call over everybody? No, I like Chukagian and I like Joanna Jędrzejczyk over her. But if you're talking about who would I rather see Valentina Shevchenko fight for the title, if she needs an opponent, and you're giving me like Sarge Eubanks and Nico Montano, I'd rather see her fight a girl that's actually fought in the UFC, has legit more than fucking 8 pro fights, and this girl is one of the only girls that can say she has a win over Shevchenko. It wasn't in the UFC. It's probably not even going to show here, right? Let's see. Liz Carmouche. I got to pull it up on Sherdog. Carmouche, the gorilla. Yeah, she actually has a win over Valentina Shevchenko. Valentina come back and get back. I'm in there. 7MC says Liz Carmouche has a fucking doctor stoppage and it was a stupid amount of years ago. She didn't have shit to say about Vishev until now. She's fighting for a title. Clout Chase Deluxe. Now that is a good point. I ain't heard her say nothing about this rematch whenever we needed an opponent. I ain't heard her throw her name in the hat to fight on the short notice whenever Valentina needed an opponent. Now she's already booked in a fight. I haven't heard about her being thrown in the hat with Valentina yet. I don't know if that's on her part, but I think she actually has a good case to fight for the title. But yeah, if she's only talking about fighting Valentina when she's already booked a fight, then yeah, that's suspect as fuck. But actually, she does have a good case to fight for the title, even though her record isn't amazing, 12-6. But it's still better than fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like fucking 4-2. In my opinion, you got a lot more fights. Actually, it is 4-2, except for ×3. You know what I'm saying? Like it is 4-2, just that you've had more fights. So yeah, man. With that being said, let's move to the next topic. How do I don't even, oh yeah, that's Stamina MC brought up. Like, I was about to say, how the fuck did we get on Liz Carmouche? But yeah, you brought up that topic. I did say, and we are going to talk about that later in the show. But before we get into that, that's actually the next topic. I want to touch on Jason Knight talking training with Team Alpha Male. Jason Bite, Hick Diaz, whatever you want to call him, man. I was high on this guy. He's on a 3-fight losing streak, but this dude is so fucking fun to watch fight, dude. And I think he's still going to stick around. But like the Diaz brothers, yeah, he might lose some fights, but he's going to win some fights. This dude's got great jiu-jitsu. He's fun to watch. Like, he talks trash while he's in there. Like, he hypes himself up. Like, come on, motherfucker. You think you're going to take me down? And he's country as fuck. Come on, shoot for a takedown, motherfucker. Try to take me down. And he's hyped up. Come on, motherfucker. Tapping his, shoot for a takedown. And he'll try fucking like jump and I think pull like rubber guard. Like, this motherfucker's crazy. I love entertaining while he's in there. Crazy jiu-jitsu. He doesn't always find the submission, but boy, he's fucking looking for him. He's crazy. The submissions he throws up, super flexible with the jiu-jitsu. So he's well-rounded. I mean, he'll strike with you, but he's lost some fights. I think he's lost 3 fights in a row, but I'm still rooting for Jason fucking Knight. He's got to win his next fight, man. He's got to fucking get a win. He has to stay in the U.S. I don't care. Because even if he goes to Bellator, I'm going to like watching Jason Knight fight. I just really fucking like this dude, even on a 3-fight losing streak. I like his fucking personality and everything. And so now he's training with Team Alpha Male, and I like that because they got a lot of great wrestlers around his size. So if he's well-rounded, he's already a good striker, he's already great at jiu-jitsu, go to Team Alpha Male, sharpen up that wrestling, and just become that much more well-rounded so guys can't try and take advantage and just try and hold you down and beat you that way. Jason Knight is pretty fun to watch fight, says Benji. Yeah, man, I like him. So he says, I'm out here in Sacramento, California. He's usually training out in the Iberville, Mississippi, I think. So going to a bigger camp, I like that. Kind of like with Mike Perry, right? A guy I really like watching fight and a fun fighter, but not the most well-rounded. So until you really go with one of the best camps out there, there's only so much success. I think you have a little bit of a ceiling if you're not training with the best fighters in the world. And so now Jason Knight as well, moving out of whatever camp he was with, going to Team Alpha Male. Mike Perry moving out of wherever he was training. I think he was just on the road, just training wherever the fuck he went, no stable camp or nothing. Now he's with Jackson Wink, and sometimes even in Florida with American Top Team. So, and he's only 26 years old, Jason Knight, so he's got a lot of time. He says, I'm out here in Sacramento, California, out here training with Uriah Faber and his guys. I just felt like I needed a change, so I'm out here trying to get in some good work. I'm definitely feeling it. My body's sore as hell, but I feel like a new animal. Let's fucking go. I can't wait for Jason Knight's next fight, and I'm fucking placing a big bet on it on the fake money bankroll. Fuck that. He's got to get a win. I do want to see Jason Knight stay in the UFC, but I'm just happy even if he loses, there's other opportunities. Even if he goes to Bellator, or even now, the PFL. I'm watching the PFL from now on. We too watched it. I like the whole playoff tournament format. The playoffs are for sure dope. The playoffs are must watch. The fighting twice in one night. Winner fights for $1 million and the title and all that shit. Playoffs are a must watch. The regular season, still decent cards as well. I'm gonna have to tune in. But that's what I'm saying. Even if Jason Knight went to the PFL, I'd watch his ass over there. So it is what it is. He's young. Gonna be a guy we get to watch for a while. He says, I've watched some of his highlights talking about his UFC 230 opponent. I watched the fight with Gregor Gillespie, and from what I can tell, Jordan Rinaldi looks like he's going to be a well-rounded fighter. Doesn't look like he stands out anywhere. The one thing I see that I can exploit is that when you hit him hard, he doesn't like to get hit. And I promise you, I'm going to hit him hard. I should say this like Derrick. I should actually be talking like Jason Knight. The one thing I see I can exploit is that when you hit him hard, he doesn't like to get hit. And I promise you, I'm going to hit him hard. That's a guarantee. Whether or not he takes it, we're going to see. But I'm going to hit him hard as hell. I promise you that. Me and Brandon Davis, we're going to drive back home, and, we're going to stop by a few gyms on the way. And as soon as I get home, I'm going to catch up with my coaches, and I'm going to make sure we're all on the same page. The week after that, we're going to head over to New York and get ready to kick some ass. Motherfucking my boy, Hick Diaz, Jason Knight, whatever you want to call him. Just make sure you're watching this fight. But I call him Jason Bite. Some of you might remember he had that fight with, I believe, Fernando Gonzalez, and he was in a headlock maybe, and he fucking bit his finger. Mike Tyson style bit his fucking finger. This nigga's crazy, bro. Bit his finger. The dude was like, yo, he just bit my fucking finger. The ref had to, take a point from Jason Knight for biting somebody's finger. It's fucking crazy. That's how you do an impression full time. Yo, I was seriously going to make a channel, bro. I'm not going to have a video up. Well, maybe I do. Actually, dude, I think it was my dad. He brought over he was doing some work somewhere, and he just said, hey, you know anyone that wants these? And they're like some fucking jumpers, like straight hillbilly. You would wear them out, to do work on the farm, and he brought them over. That would go so perfect with this hat on that channel, and we were going to call it like the MMA Frontier. I'll just use that voice the whole time. So for today's show, we got a lot to talk about. But first, of course, we got to give a shout out to the Frontier family. Hick Diaz says, Benji, I'm dead. Tay Brown in the building. What's going on? Chicka, Tay Brown. Chicka, Tay Brown. What's going on, Tay? Maybe we just finish the show like this here. Speaking of Liz Carmouche, I'm the only one who deserved the Valentina Shevchenko fight, she says. I don't know, because Joanna Jacek here, she's a legend of this sport here, honey. You got to listen up. Now, see, this might be the clout chasing Stamina MC was talking about. Stamina MC says, why is Liz Carmouche speaking up now? Why is she speaking up right now that Valentina Shevchenko no longer needs an opponent? She was going to be fighting the dark girl, Sarge Eubank. She was going to be fighting Sarge at 2:30. She was going to be fighting Joanna Jacek at 2:31 twice. Where you been? We heard Caitlin Chukagian. She was ready to fight Shevchenko on short notice. when Nico Montano pulled out. By the way, Liz, where were you when Nico Montano was having her whole little affair with the weight cut? Were you gonna take the fight on short notice there, sweetie? My bad, guys. My bad. All right, I'm done. That was a flash into the MMA frontier. No, but seriously, that is a good point. You know, like, Valentina Shevchenko has needed opponents quite a few times now. The dark girl. I should have said in that voice. I should have said the darkie. That would have been even worse. In that voice. Oh, I gotta chill. I gotta stop. Sorry. But, seriously, Valentina Shevchenko has needed opponents multiple times. Now, short notice, yeah, maybe Liz don't want to fight her on short notice, and I get that. But if you don't want to fight her on short notice, then wait until she's in a short notice fight. Because do the frontier, man, it's gold. Hey, I'll do it because this shit ain't, the full-time MMA channel, we got shut down pretty much. I mean, we still do our thing, we still got the family that we got, but as far as growing, our shit got a cap put on us. Like, we went from growing fast to a snail's pace. Like, we're growing and that's, because we got shadow banned or whatever. So I was thinking about making a new channel and doing the frontier, like a joke channel. I might actually do that if that was funny. But I actually started to feel a little cringy as that went on. Like, I had to stop. Like, okay, I got to stop. But if people think that that's funny, I'm going to do that shit. I'm going to put on the fucking overalls and this hat. It's going to be a whole show. And who was it? I think it was Stamina MC. I'm going to drink out of a canteen. Someone told me I got to drink out of a canteen. That almost sounds like so much fun. I just want to do it. You're in the top 3 MMA on YouTube. I appreciate that, Cam Murphy. Tell that to YouTube. No, I'm just playing. But I do appreciate that. So, Valentina Shevchenko, she needed an opponent on short notice whenever Nico pulled out. Didn't get one. Now she needed an opponent for 231, scheduled to fight Joanna. UFC needed a headliner for UFC 230. Maybe they didn't call Carmouche. Maybe Liz Carmouche is on the no-love list. Can't take credit for the canteen comment. Twas not I, says Stamina. Maybe it was Jorge 1. It might have been Jorge 1. Full-time frontier, y'all. Are we just moving to the full-time frontier, you guys? Is that what I'm getting here? Like, are we just going to open up a new channel and try and not get that one shadow banned? Like, maybe if I open up a channel and I'm actually disrespectful to the fighters and I actually, like, I do shit, crazy shit, maybe I won't get shadow banned. I don't know. like, what the fuck? I could really have some. I might just do that just for fun, even if not to grow, just for fun. I think that would be fucking fun. Like Frontier Fridays. Like, how we're going to start theming the days like WMMA Wednesdays. Maybe we have like full-time Frontier Fridays. We start off with just Frontier Fridays, and then we move it. If it's a success, we move it to a whole channel. I'll do a shoey if Ty wins, says Exist BMX. Yo, I won't. If he won by knockout against Arlovsky, I was going to. I had my balls on the table there, bro. Like, fuck it. Just, let's go. And he didn't get the knockout. I was low-key happy, bro. I had a shoe ready. It's crazy. Do it full time, says Cam Murphy. All right, we'll probably do that this Friday, like Frontier Friday. I'm gonna get a canteen. I'm gonna have the fucking overalls and shit, bro. Disrespectful shit clearly works. Just look at the channel we don't talk about here. I roll. Yeah. I mean, facts. It works, and it does. And I honestly think I ought to be good at it, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because I could hype up some shit for entertainment, and I could be the heel. Like I don't know if you understand what I was talking about, like on the Rose Namajunas situation, especially after we found out she bites bagels, like not in a bad way. She actually likes the snack bagel bites. Bro, I could be such the Rose heel, like not playing into the dolly thing, ducking and dodge, and you bite bagels. Like, I could get disrespectful, but that's just not who I am, man. I kind of like Rose, so... But if I wanted to take like a fucking Skip Bayless approach, right, and just take an entertaining approach and be disrespectful, I think we might have 50 people watching right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but you have to fucking actually make that. I don't know. Maybe I will on the Frontier. Maybe we'll try it out on the Frontier. We might have to try it on the Frontier. We'll see. But yeah, Liz Carmouche, though, as far as her deserving a title shot, the only title shots that have been available, I believe, actually, as of late, are short notice title fights with Valentina, full-time heel turn. Man, maybe we even get unshadow banned. Like, right, maybe I go back to smoking weed on the channel every day, start disrespecting fighters. You know, like, I was trying to clean up the channel. That's why I wasn't smoking weed on the channel and all of this. You know, be a little more professional, and we get shadow banned. You have a shitload more people you'd have a shitload more people watching. Yeah, but right, ain't that why people kind of don't like? Ain't that what people don't like about MMA, kind of? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe some people enjoy it, but a lot of people don't like the trash talk in MMA. You know, the fucking Covingtons, the McGregors. People are like, oh, that's everything that's wrong with the sport. But they'd be cunts. This chat section would be a zoo. That's what I'm saying, Stanley. You have a lot of trolls in here, but I don't know, man. It might just be, I mean, it is entertainment. To be fair, all of it is entertainment, and that would be entertaining. You know, I'm not here doing the fucking Lord's work. I'm just here bringing the news, trying to be entertaining, and that would probably be a lot more entertaining than what I do now. All I do now is just give, like, insight and my own thoughts on the fight, and we do panels and shit like that and make songs, but is that as entertaining? And I bet you that would get more support. I mean, that's not what I'm doing this for. I don't really give a fuck about it, but I do think that people would latch on to that more. There would be probably some assholes like, yeah, let's go full time, get him. You know, instead of like, I'm always like that peacemaker. Like, listen, guys, I know it's fun to say he's ducking, but that's not what's happening here. It's business. People are like, no, fuck business. Who cares about business? I'm like, okay, fuck it. fuck the truth. I agree, Stan. People love watching, hearing people talk shit about people. I do too. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy hearing that shit. Like, whenever I hear other channels going at it, like, I listen to those videos. I might not even know the channels. I'm like, oh shit, who said what? What happened? I know I like that shit. But yeah, man, fuck it. Maybe that's the route we take. Maybe we sell out and actually fucking just go in. Or look for smoke with other heel channels. Somebody actually literally proposed that to me. Even on some behind the scenes, like, hey bro, you wanna like channel beef? Even though I really like your channel, but you know, just for entertainment, you wanna like do that shit? I'm like, fuck you, dog, I'm down, bitch. Like, bitch, what's up? But I don't even know how to fake it that good. Like, you know, like fake a beef with another channel. And I'll tell you this, I probably would have did it by now, but you kind of know why I don't. I kind of feel like those are the people that are going to flag your GoFundMe, right? If I get in a beef with another channel, or if I start fucking talking shit on a fighter, like, let's say a Diaz brother, just to be example, like, why the fuck ain't you guys fighting? This is piss. Like, if I start talking shit on a certain fighter, right, you would imagine it would be their fans who start thumbs downing my videos and flagging my GoFundMes. I ain't even did that shit yet, and my GoFundMes are getting flagged the fuck down. And I ain't even fucking disrespectful with the fighters. Like, could you imagine how many people would be trying to flag my shit down if I was actually doing that? I don't know. This shit is actually kind of madness. It's actually kind of madness. The whole point of me enjoying combat sports is because that's so much more satisfying to watch than petty insults between people that'll never meet up. Actually, fighter is greater than shit talk. I agree with that. In some cases. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, and there are some people that watch every MMA promotion, but there's a lot of MMA out there. And I think Chael Sonnen made this point. If if you're someone that says you don't really enjoy any of the build-up for the fight or the promotion or the trash talk, then don't watch the lead-up to the fights. You know, he was like challenging those people. Well, then don't watch any of the embeddeds. When you watch the fight on mute. Don't know anything about the fighters. And you know, that's a little different, I hear, but there is something too. When people do trash talk back and forth, it makes the fight a little more compelling. The only reason the shit talk is tolerable is because they will actually have to back it up or get beat down. Yeah. There's a point to that as well, you know, people. But I mean, there's like, and I don't know if you know, like there are some people, like, you know, like shock jocks. You know, I'm assuming you all know what a shock jock is. Like people, radio personalities that are just like entertainment. They're not actual, or even people like fucking Michael Rappaport. You guys know who Michael Rappaport is? He gets on there, he'll talk about the Celtics, like, what the fuck were you doing? Like, you don't know, you fucking learn how to play fucking basketball and you forget your skills? You fucking suck. Like, there's that kind of trash talk that people enjoy, like a Michael Rappaport talking trash about sports and what's going on. And so, you know, and people don't really expect, you know, there's something about what I'm saying is to entertainer doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like comedians, whenever they like heckle, someone heckles them in the crowd and the comedian talks shit about them. Oh, that's why you look like, you know what I'm saying? Your fucking wife hasn't fucked you in 3 months and you're only here because you know, you heckle something. People don't really expect you to fucking fist fight with those people. You either die as a hero or you live enough to see yourself get turned into a villain. Yeah, there's something to that, right? I can't believe he talks any sport. He's a shit actor. Who you talking about? Rappaport? If people can make a shit talk clever or witty, I'm down. Chael made me laugh and still does. Guys like Colby and Dylan literally aren't intelligent enough. I'm too smart for their level of output. And see, okay, I hear what you're saying. And see, that's how I've always looked at trash talk. Like, I like fucking... That's how I trash talk. Like, witty trash talk. Not just over the edge. Oh, you fucking people are dirty. Like, I'm fucking clever with my shit. Like, I've always enjoyed, like, debates. Like, people have told me since I was young, like, you should fucking be, like, a lawyer. Because I like arguing, like, taking the other side. Like, what's it called? The fucking, I'm like a natural contrarian. I'm always, like, I hear what you're saying, but I look at the other side. So, like, I'm always, like, thinking of the opposite side and talking shit, too. So, I hear what you're saying. The type. Because I love Chael Sonnen's trash talk is with Dominic Cruz, his trash talk. Devil's advocate, yeah, devil's advocate as well, Stay with MC. Like devil's advocate, contrarian, yeah, perfect. But like Dominic Cruz, his trash talk. That's the type of shit that I'm on. Like, I don't know how you think about Stay with MC. What about Dominic Cruz's trash talk? That's my favorite kind of trash talk. He's one of the best in the fucking game. One of the, like the way he does it, he'll play a fucking mental game with you. That's the type of. But the other shit's still kind of entertaining. There's something to that as well, because you like, you know, since it's fighting, you actually see him beating each other down or something. But yeah, there's different types of trash talk. There's the fucking cringy, borderline racist, fucking, you know, trash talk, one-liners and shit like that. But yeah, I like that Dominic Cruz witty style. But yeah, so back to the topics. We only got a couple more things to talk about. Cruz's talk is steeped in fact. I'm all for it. Yeah, that's the shit I like to do. That's how I like to talk trash. Like, I'll fucking get on somebody's heels, bro, but with the facts. And yeah, man, that's my type of trash talk. And if I ever like did some type of turned heel shit, it would be like that. You know, like even let's say the Jon Jones situation. I was talking about it earlier. If you want to believe Jon Jones is a cheat and snitch, you have facts to back that up. If you want to believe he's innocent, you have facts to back that up. But I could take that approach and, like you said, it would be steeped in fact. I can talk about, the only, you know, like I could take a whole Jon Jones anti-approach and it would be steeped in fact and it would be compelling. But the Jon Jones haters would probably be like, man, fuck this. You know, and they'd probably flag down my shit. But there'd be a lot of people that would find it entertaining, and also it would be laced in fact. Just like with comedy, the hardest hitting stuff is always based on true shit. Yes, sir. I try to tell you Rose is injured and you never listen, says DJC. No, I know Rose has a minor. You know who else is injured? Daniel Cormier. You know who else is injured? Derrick Lewis. You know who else is injured? Every fighter that fights. But you know what's convenient? Winning the belt and going on a vacation for about 5 months. And then after defending your belt, you go on another vacation. And it's just convenient when the number one, like Michael Bisping. He was also injured when he didn't fight Yoel Romero. One of the more convenient injuries that allowed you to, you know what I'm saying, wait until the GSP fight, and you never had to fight Romero. And, you know, if you're injured, then Andrade might have to fight Joanna. And if Joanna beats Andrade, then you don't have to fight Andrade. And, you know, yeah, everybody's injured. No one goes into a fight 100%. But I know, and not only is she injured, I'll give you another one, DJC. She's also traumatized. She's injured and she's traumatized. Well, if you're injured and you're traumatized, maybe we just vacate the belt until we get some help, we get healed up, and then we come back for the title. How about that? You know, so I hear what you're saying. Yeah, everyone's injured. But a lot of people fight through injuries, and if it's a neck fracture, like what were you doing ATVs in the off season? Did you reckon ATV? Maybe we should know about that. How serious is the injury? Oh, for fuck's sake, she has a fractured neck, says Leon Dubson. That's what I'm saying. She's got a fractured neck, and then what we need to do is we need to fucking look at either vacating or an interim title. But we haven't had no. When did it come? Did it come in the second Joanna fight? You know, that's fine. So with all that being said, Michael Bisping, I don't know what his injury was, but that's fine. You know what I'm saying? And I know there's also a lot of people that like Rose more than Jessica Andrade. That might play a fact into it, but it is what it is. Like, if that's what I could go into that, but it's a losing battle, you know, because everyone loves Rose. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's a situation where it's like even before Conor McGregor fought Aldo, you couldn't tell people like look at his record. Who has he fought? You know, you couldn't say that. Because there's always a million more people like, fuck that. He's the GOAT. Stamina MC says, I don't recall Rose making any mention of an official medical opinion regarding her health. Time off equals mandatory downtime. That's the only part that seemed weird. Or time off does not equal mandatory downtime. Rose out there growing pot and being groomed by pederast. Yeah, and she's out here growing like her. She just did an interview last week where she was talking about growing her own weed and, you know, with women's health, and she's promoting growing weed. Like Nico Montano, you know, that's another situation. She was also injured when she didn't want to fight Valentina Shevchenko. A lot of people don't believe it, but she was injured. You know, she had an ankle injury. Yeah, she had, you know, I'm curious if a lot of you people were also the Nico defenders, because it's the exact same situation, kind of, because they're both injured, so they can't fight this scary fighter. Dude, it's not that fucking, literally, Jessica Andrade, and then you can talk about the fact that Andrade has been the #1 contender for a couple of fights now, and before this marijuana interview, the last interview we heard from Rose, she said there was no clear contender. There was. So there's a lot of fucking signs that point to the fact that Rose Namajunas might be taking her time getting to this Andrade fight. But since people don't really, you know, if we were Brazilian, if you guys were Brazilian, you wouldn't be saying the same shit. You know, you wouldn't be buying that shit. But the fact that you like Rose more than Andrade, I really think plays a big part into it. She just fucking knocked Karolina Kowalkiewicz unconscious with one shot. And people act like it's fucking asinine to believe that someone might be looking to... And we know she's hungry. We know she's selling her fucking Reebok gear. We know she's selling baked goods for money. So people act like it's impossible. It's asinine to think that someone might be starving her out because they know she has to keep fighting. They know eventually she's going to have to fight Joanna again. Eventually, if we can fucking have a fractured neck... And you know what? You guys are bringing the MMA frontier heel out of me. Eventually, if we can have a fucking fractured neck long enough, and by the way, when did it get fractured? Was it in the fight or was it in some ATV or car accident that we don't know about? And by the way, after the first fight with Joanna, we took 5 months off after the first fight. We knocked her out in the first round and took 5 months off. Then we beat her again, and now we have a fractured neck, and we might have to take a fucking year off. Okay, with all that being said, then how about and we're traumatized. Okay, well, if that's the case, then this is what we should do. We should let someone else fight for the belt while we get healed up. We got a fucked up neck. We still only go to the gym, except for when we're growing weed, I guess. But since we're traumatized and we have a fractured neck, then give the fucking belt up. You guys are doing this to me, man. You guys are doing this to me. Exactly, full-time. UFC put the squeeze on Nico, Randa, no such pressure on Rose. None. Where's the pressure? That's because she should be stripped. That's BS. She should be stripped, says Cam Murphy. There was no clear contender, says Leon Dubson. I disagree. I mean, the only reason that even flew halfway is because Andrade had a fucking fight booked with Carolina. But I'll tell you this, Leon, and anyone else if there was no clear-cut number, I'll tell you this. Before Jessica Andrade got booked, of course there's no clear contender because everyone's booked. Before Jessica Andrade got booked, if Rose would have been healthy, if she wouldn't have been in a dolly, whatever, if she would have been healthy, guess who she would have been fighting? After she beat Joanna. If she's healthy, you know who she fights? There's only one answer. You know what that means? It's a clear-cut number one contender. Rose beats Joanna a second time. There's no trilogy. Who's the next contender? There's only one person. Who's been winning? Who's been dominant? The only reason Jessica Andrade took the fight with Carolina is because she was selling her fucking baked goods and UFC clothes to make ends meet. I don't want to say Rose is starving her out. It might be the UFC, but this girl is fucking broke. So she has to keep taking fights. If she was rich, she would sit out. If she had money, she could sit out. Valentina was able to sit out and wait on Nico. Jessica Andrade ain't got the money to sit out. Valentina beat the shit out of Priscilla Cachoeira, and she was able to wait a whole year on Nico. She didn't fight nobody because she didn't need to, because she's got money some other way. Valentina ain't starving, or she would not have been able to sit out a whole year and wait on Nico. Jessica Andrade is selling fucking cookies and UFC gear to fucking make ends meet. She's got to fight. So if you're out here doing marijuana business and fucking growing weed and traumatized and got a fractured neck from an injury we never heard about, well, motherfucker, I need to fight for the belt. Lucky for Jessica Andrade, she knocked out Carolina and she got a performance bonus, and that 50 G's is going to help her. But if she didn't get that $50,000 bonus, she would have been taking another fight because we don't know when Rose is coming back. And like Stamina said, where's the pressure? There was pressure on Nico. There was pressure on Randa. What's going on? I haven't even seen one hashtag defender vacate. Y'all are bringing that out of me, man. I love Rose. But before the Andrade vs. KK fight is when Rose made the statement. Yeah, when it was booked. But what I'm saying is, even before Andrade fought Carolina, she was the number one contender. The only reason she fought Carolina is because she needed money. It wasn't to make her case as the number one contender. She was already the number one contender. She had already fucking beat Tisha Torres and ragdolled Claudia. If she wasn't fighting Carolina and Rose was healthy, she would have been the number one contender. The only reason she booked that fight is because Rose wasn't healthy and she wouldn't fight her. But if Rose was ready, she would have been fighting Andrade. That's the number one contender. But since you're injured, she had to book a fight, and now that she's booked, there's no number one contender. But there's definitely a number one contender. On Cruz and Woodley too, says Mr. Perfect 2005. You can say it about Dominic Cruz. I might make a fucking heel channel, dog. Like, I'm trying to be respectful to all these people. I could do the same thing with Cruz. You were booked to fight Rivera. Your arm gets broken. Now you're conveniently only coming back when TJ might need an opponent, but you ain't fighting none of these killers. And it's because you made your name in the game. You're already a champion. You know if Dominic Cruz is injured until TJ needs an opponent, he knows politics. He's gonna get put in the title shot. It don't matter if Marlon Moraes knocks out Jimmy Rivera and next he knocks out Rafael Assunção. It don't fucking matter. Because when it comes time to book TJ's next bantamweight opponent, Dominic Cruz is who he has to beat the GOAT. Dominic Cruz still has the most fans. He's the most popular. So Dominic Cruz is going to get the number one fight, even if Marlon Moraes or Assunção knocks out their next two opponents. If we're going with politics, he's the bigger fight, bigger legacy fight, and bigger money. But you could be saying, Dominic Cruz, what is up, bro? You ain't fighting nobody but title fights. Maybe it's time. These guys have earned their shot. You were booked to fight Rivera. You got injured. No one questions injuries, but it was one of those convenient ones, even though it's a broken arm, which sucks. His arm got broke, so he didn't have to fight Rivera. And now he's not coming back to fight Rivera. You know, like Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz, okay, Dustin Poirier's got a small injury. Sucks, but he's going to be back quick. Do you think Nate Diaz is going to fight Dustin Poirier? No, he's not going to rebook that fight. Let's see. Leon Dobson says Tatiana. What about Tatiana? She definitely don't deserve a shot over anyone near Andrade, and especially even before that. Tatiana just got in the conversation. She just got in the conversation with her win over Carla Esparza. And now that's brand new. She just hopped in the conversation. Before, Jessica Andrade has been the #1 contender for her last 2 fights. She lost a title shot, and since then she's ragdolled 3 people. She ragdolled Claudia. Then she beat Tisha. She could have been fighting for the title. After she beat Tisha Torres, we didn't even know who Tatiana Suarez was at that point. She wasn't on the radar of a top 5 fighter. So, at that moment, after Jessica Andrade beat Tisha Torres, she was the clear #1 contender. There was no Suarez. Andrade had lost. There was only one contender. But that was around the Dolly situation and the neck injury, and so then she had to fight again. Then she gets booked. Then Rose says there's no #1 contender. Then Tatiana Suarez has her amazing performance. But she tops that because then we're looking at, oh, and by the way, the UFC is looking for any fucking opportunity to skip Andrade. Because, by the way, they booked Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Tisha Torres. They booked Jessica Andrade versus Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Both of those girls have a history with Rose. If Tisha Torres would have beat Joanna Jędrzejczyk, she would have. I am about 90% sure the UFC would have gave Rose Namajunas the fight with Tisha Torres over Jessica Andrade. You know why? Because it's a trilogy. They would have said that's the fight the fans want to see. There's a history. Rose wants to end the history. She wants to shut things up for good. It's 1-1. She wants to let everyone know. So she would have been fighting Tisha Torres, and Andrade would have got skipped, and people would have said it's because it's the fight the fans want to see. But since Joanna beat Tisha, that doesn't happen. If Karolina Kowalkiewicz would have beat Jessica Andrade, I guarantee you she would be getting talked about in the title shot already. They would be talking about Karolina. You know, when is Rose coming back to fight Karolina? When is Rose coming back to... Because she already had a fight with Rose that she won. So Rose wants to get that back. There's a history there. But she lost. So now there's only one person out there, and that's Andrade. And now you got Tatiana on the way up, but it's like, what the fuck? No, we got to get Andrade versus Rose first. I love Tatiana too. I want to see Tatiana versus Andrade. I'd like to see Tatiana versus Rose. I'd like to see all these fights, but Rose is injured right now, so we can't see the #1 contender fight, which means we can't see the Tatiana get hurt. The division is getting log jammed right now. We already got a #1 contender, and we got a close #2 next. Joanna might come back, like... Hopefully she'll be back sooner rather than later, but there's no pressure. Tatiana, fuck no, way too soon. That was media hype, nothing more. Carla was her only decorated opponent. That's what I'm saying. Like, she's up there, but not over Andrade by any means. The UFC was going to push her regardless, though, until Andrade landed that bomb. Yeah, I agree. The Andrade landing that bomb might have been the only reason she gets a title shot. Because, for one, it allowed her to get that extra $50,000 so she doesn't have to fucking be as desperate. They can't starve her out because she just got $50,000. They can't... She doesn't have to keep fighting. And this is also kind of bullshit. She's fighting all these girls as a #1 contender, when if she was the champion, all of these would be title defenses. She would be fighting these same girls, and they would all be title fights. So she would be getting paid that much more. But since she can't get through the politics of getting to the belt, then she's got to fight these girls for less money. And now, once she becomes the champion, it's going to be like she's already cleared out the division, and so people ain't going to buy her pay-per-views because it's like, oh, we already seen Andrade versus Tisha. We already seen Andrade versus Karolina. We already saw Andrade versus Claudia. We don't want to see those. She already whooped their ass. So now, it's also... Not only is she getting paid less to fight those girls while she's not the champion, once she becomes the champion, it takes away from her pay-per-view value because she can't fucking sell fights with these girls she's already cleared out. So now all she can do is win the belt and like move up a division, but there's not many places for her to go after she finally wins the fucking belt. So Speaking of Cruz, I wonder when we will hear from Garbrandt again. Garbrandt, yo, I need to make this channel. Just start coming out here and just spitting fucking heat. And even if I'm wrong, just talking. It sounds good. Garbrandt, he's pulling a Cruz. Not disrespectfully, but what I'm saying is taking a break, a vacation, because he knows, yeah, he can't. Even if he knocks out Marlon Moraes, even if he knocks out Rafael Sunsao, even if he knocks out, who's the other guy up there? Marlon Moraes, Rafael Sunsao, Cruz. Even if he beats Cruz again right now, there's no title shot soon for Cody Garbrandt. So what you do, and it's only if you have good management. If you have good management, they probably strategize this for you because good managers are good managers, and it makes sense. But if you're a fan, or if you're somebody, that's a fighter in the division, it's kind of bullshit. Like if you're Marlon Moraes or Jimmy Rivera, he's a guy that's been calling out Cody Garbrandt for a while now. He wants to fight Cruz, and he wants to fight Cody. Because Jimmy Rivera knows what the fuck's going on. He knows until you beat Cruz, Cody, or TJ, you're not entering that little triangle they got. They got a triangle up there. And if Uriah Faber steps back in, there's some more shit, right? Oh, TJ Dillashaw versus Uriah Faber. They never got to fight. The ultimate team alpha male. It's the leader this time. You might even have that monkey wrench get thrown in the game. So Jimmy Rivera knows I can fucking fight all these top dudes, and until I get to fight one of these former champions, I'm going to keep getting skipped over. So he's calling out Cruz and he's calling out Garbrandt. But now Cody Garbrandt, you seen after he lost to TJ the second time, he took a social media silence. Like, oh, I'm going, and it's like people are like, oh, where's his mind state? He's taking a silence. And his manager's like, he's just getting his mind together, guys. He'll be back. It's all good. Cody's good. He'll be back. You got people worried about him and shit. Meanwhile, you're on fucking vacation because ain't shit for you to do. Unless you're going to a new division, you lost your rematch. So now this is best case scenario for Cody because he could fight these tough fights. There's killers. They're killers. Marlon Moraes is a fucking killer. Jimmy Rivera is a fucking killer. Rafael Sunsao even. Killer. He could fight those guys, and if he wins, doesn't get much, and if he loses, he gets knocked out of his title position. But if he just waits, if he's inactive, if it was an injury or if it was a vacation, Cody Garbrandt, what if Cruz beats TJ? If he waits for Cruz to fight TJ, which is, like I told you, that's the bantamweight fight. If TJ Dillashaw doesn't fight Henry Cejudo in a champ versus champ fight, he's fighting Cruz. That's facts. There's no other bantamweight getting a title shot over Dominic Cruz with TJ Dillashaw if he fights at bantamweight. Doesn't matter who you are. He's the biggest money fight and the biggest legacy fight. It's happening. So, if Cruz can beat TJ, then we either have to see Cruz versus TJ 3, or Cody Garbrandt comes up and says, all right, guys, I'm back off of vacation. My mind is cleared, and I'm ready to get my title back. Dominic Cruz, I already beat you once, pussy. Start talking trash. And then he got to go on vacation and come right back into a title fight because Cruz beat TJ for him. But if he just fights it, or he can just fight these guys, and even if he wins, not get a title shot. So now he's on a media blackout, and he's gone, and what I'm assuming is he's taking time off because there's nothing for him to do unless he moves the division. Now, I'm willing to predict this as well. If Cruz beat TJ, fucking Cody Garbrandt would reactivate his social media that day and call out Dominic Cruz. What up, pussy? I already beat you once. I was breakdancing on you. I embarrassed you that night. I got some new moves I want to show off in the octagon. I've been working on my spin move. Take the rematch. Boom. Right back in there. And what do you think the fans want to see? The biggest name, the former champion. So that's part of the politics for Marlon Moraes and Jimmy Rivera that they got to work their way through. These guys that already have names established. And instead of fighting and losing their spot, right? None of them are fighting and losing their spot. Dominic Cruz ain't fighting Marlon Moraes. He ain't fighting Jimmy Rivera because if he lost, he would lose his spot. Cody Garbrandt ain't fighting him either because if they lost, they would lose their spot. So you either get injured or you fucking go on vacation. And that way, once the guy you beat becomes champion, you come back like, hey, remember I beat you, champion? And you didn't ever risk your spot. And I'm not accusing Dominic Cruz of faking a fucking broken arm. I'm sure he went to the doctor and his shit was broken. But he sure didn't come back until it was time to fight. So he might have been healed up sooner. But you see, he ain't talking about that Jimmy Rivera fight he had booked. He's talking about TJ. I'm going to have to make another channel, man. I'm shadow banned over here. I'm just going to come out here. And, man, I need to start doing something because I want to do this on another channel, but like with a act. It has to be an act. I can't actually sound like I know what I'm talking about because that might be why you get shadow banned. Maybe I need to like be fucking smoking blunts and people just think I don't know what I'm talking about and I'll be cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I got some fucking knowledge for you guys. Doesn't it sound like I'm an insider sometime? No, I'm just kidding, but I do see that. It's not just this sport. I'm sure a lot of you guys see this as well. It's not just this sport. Boxing, it's even happened now. You know what I'm saying? Like, just a lot of combat sports, or even, I don't know. I've just seen it happen multiple times. I just throughout the years and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's business, and it does make sense. It makes a lot of sense. If you're Dominic Cruz or if you're Cody Garbrandt and you got a good team and a good manager, it makes sense. Nothing wrong with it. It makes sense. But, a lot of the times you're kind of saving face. Bring back blunts 2019. Yo, I could bring back blunts any fucking day. I just thought it would be more professional, and I was thinking, man, people ain't going to want to fucking tip. Like, if I want the show to be anything, like, I was like, people don't want to tip some dude that they think is some fucking degenerate pothead, but you know what I'm saying? That's my fucking, like, that was my life before this shit. Not a degenerate, but that was my therapy for sure. I ain't out here smoking crack and doing Molly and fucking on Xannies all goddamn day, but I smoke some fucking weed. That's what I do. That's how I came up. And, so I might bring it back, but that's kind of the reason I took it away too. Like, nobody want to fucking tip that, but shit. With our channel being shadow banned, I don't even give a fuck about the money on this thing. I've been less, this is just like not as much for me. So it might be bring back blunts fucking November 2018. I've been sober 2018, but man, we're real close to 2019. We might bring back blunts a lot sooner because it ain't really doing what it was supposed to be doing anyway. So yeah, you're right. Actually, it's a better image for the channel. Yeah, I don't like smoking on camera, like, because I felt like it was too much. And then also, you're right, if you go to work and like one of your bosses or one of your coworkers says something, and like, because me and my brother, we don't work at the same building, but we're kind of like independently contracted, so we know some of the same people. And like if he tells them, oh yeah, my brother's got this MMA show, and they see me on there smoking a blunt, right? That might, I don't want to get fired. But yeah, that's really, I did it to look more professional, but it's crazy. After we get more professional is when we get shadow banned. So I'm like, well, fuck being professional. I'm ready to go to the fucking, the full-time frontier. Shut this joint down. We got to try something else because they don't like this channel. But yeah, we don't got a lot more to talk about. We got a couple more things. This heavyweight highlight KO at Fight Nights Global. I just wanted to show you guys the referee, the way he stopped the fight. He like slid into action like a fucking super referee. Watch this. He's spinning here. Look at that. That is so clutch. Look at the ref. He just like slides on this dude's back and slides into position to stop the fight. Crack. You can't make that shit up, full-time family. All these refs got the new glasses. Bro, look at this ref. He is so fucking smooth. Pause. Watch, watch, watch. Boom, boom. Fight's over. Here he comes. Slides over his back. This looking like Fedor and shit. Fedor's nephew. That was crazy. Like, he just slid in there, bro. That was like some mall cop shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude must be like a rent-a-cop or some sort of cop or something in his free time. That was like a movie slide, like over his back to stop the fight. That was legit. Yeah, I wanted to show that. But other than that, just some weekly shit on Instagram. Fucking, this is that video. Bad Baby. Bro, you know what someone told me too? They said this fucking... Because I was talking about this with one of my homies. I was like, y'all know Cyborg was in a fucking Bad Baby music video. And it was the dude that showed me that song Gucci Flip Flops, right? She's got a song, man, and I wish I could play it for you because it's so fucking hard. You listen to it and you're like, who is this? This chick is, yo, this song is actually dope. Got a ring to it. And he's like, it's the Cash Me Outside girl. I said, get the fuck out of here. This is the Cash Me Outside girl? It's like, yeah, I mean, she's got a ghostwriter, but she's popular. So, you know, she's in music now and they're making her songs for it. But I don't give a fuck because that song was hard. So now she's in a song with YG. You might not know who that is. Blood Rapper California. Buddha Boom Bompton. Bad Baby YG. Cyborg's in the video. Selling her soul a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, right? Doing what you got to do for the money. I can see Jessica Andrade popping in one of these fucking videos because the UFC's playing her too. That's what you got to do, what you got to do. When the powers that be, the UFC, ain't pushing you to the title, you got to fucking appear in a music video. Try and grow your fan base. But, you know, as far as fucking, oh yeah, and I was going to say what I told. They said this fucking chick, I don't know how old she is. They've been saying she's 14 for like the last 2 years. So she's probably like 16 or something by now. I don't know. I don't really give a fuck. This little bitch has a boob job already. My homie that put me on the song, he was telling me, I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm seeing Cyborg with her and shit. And he's like, bro, she's still a kid. Don't make no sense. And so this is the situation the UFC is putting Cyborg in. She's got to go do a video with the female Tekashi 6ix9ine to grow her brand. Cash Me Outside. That's what she is to me, the female Tekashi 6ix9ine, right? It's not because her music, you know, got some bangers. Tekashi 6ix9ine's got some bangers. Got some songs that you put on, like when you're trying to get hyped or exercising maybe, or just getting hyped up. There's some songs you hear Tekashi 6ix9ine that come on and you're like, this is on point. Working out, what the fuck ever. But he's more famous for his antics. He's more famous for telling gangsters and rappers and legends to suck his dick with their mother's lips and beefing with people and rainbowed haired and all these face tattoos. He's more famous for that and all of his issues. Same with her. She's more famous for Cash Me Outside. How about that? And being disrespectful but you take that popularity. It's kind of like the UFC. CM Punk. These people, Logan Paul. The only reason, I don't want to say Paige Van Zandt because she's a legit fighter, but the people that are more popular, that get opportunities, it's because they're popular. This chick, fucking no music history, not a musician, but she's hella popular from getting viral on Dr. Phil. And so even if she's disrespects her mom and she's making gangster rap at 16 years old, it's a good thing for your brand, you know what I'm saying? For Cyborg, because I don't know who her fan base would be. I would assume other 16-year-old white chicks because she's a 16-year-old white girl, but I mean her music doesn't seem like it's for kids. Or maybe 16-year-olds, I guess, aren't kids in a sense, but they still are. But I know whenever I was 16, I was listening to rap I was listening to uncensored music when I was 16, right? So I know they're probably listening to uncensored music, but there was a motherfucking parental advisory sticker. So what I'm saying is, Cyborg is at least reaching a new brand. If you ask Cyborg, do you agree with her disrespecting your mother? Do you agree with fucking all of this drama bullshit? And she might say no. But she's put in this position to grow her brand. She's now, it seems, in a video with the Cash Me Outside girl. But it is what it is, you know. And she also reached out and offered her the opportunity to come train, which is dope. Because anybody can use that, whether it's your mom, your girl, your sister, your niece. Anybody can use some legit MMA training, right? To become a better fighter, defend themselves. So that's something Cyborg can do. And maybe why she's there, right? Cyborg was probably there the whole time. Like, I can't believe I'm in a fucking music video with this little fucking disrespectful bitch. Like, Cyborg probably, you know, even right, that looks like a fake ass smile, right? It just looks like, I don't really like this bitch, but I'm probably getting like 10,000 followers. Like, she probably, I wish I could just uncork and punch this little hoe. I can't believe this bitch called me nigga. Like, right? Bad Baby looks like a chick that says the N-word, right? I can't believe she just said that. Like, you know, so, and so she offers her to train, like, come on back, you know? And Cyborg got like a little niece she showed trade, and she'll probably let her put the paws on the Cash Me Outside girl. Little Cyborg, she got like a niece that she's like adopting as her daughter. Oh, she'd probably beat the fuck out of this girl. But no, what I'm saying is like Cyborg was probably in her music video like, this bitch is talking about shooting guns. What the fuck am I doing here? These little badass kids. She invites her to train so she can like put her in a fucking arm bar and hold it on. You little bitch, this is for calling me a nigga. No, I'm just saying she reached out and invited her to train. So, you know, it is what it is. Cyborg out here, you know what I'm saying? Cash me outside. How about that? Cash me at UFC 232. How about that? That's what she should have said. Either way, Khabib Nurmagomedov playing tricks on Daniel Cormier. These guys are always playing tricks on each other. Let's see what this one entails.
Oh my god. You got my old shit.
He said, oh, you got my old shit. That's so fucking funny. Someone said, how do we know her boot job could be puberty? No, the dude that was telling me, like, I guess he was so appalled, like, by the song and the fact that this chick had this crazy song and what she was talking about. Like, I don't know. It sounded like he knew what he was talking about. Maybe he didn't. Like, I didn't. I was like, what the fuck? Like, my mind was blown that song was by her, and he just was rambling after, like, yeah, bro, you're not gonna believe it. This fucking little bit, dude, this chick, do. But that's the word on the street, man. Maybe you look it up. I don't really care that much, but that's the word I got, and it was from someone that was showing me the song and told me, oh, guess who this is? This like someone that sounded like they had already read an article about it, you know. So maybe not, but if so, I was like, what the fuck? That don't even make sense. She's 16, the little muppet. Boob job, that ain't even right. She ain't even 18. That's what I'm saying, but it's entertainment. We're probably going to happen at fucking 18. So it didn't surprise me when he told me that. I didn't say, wait, how do you know this? Like, did you fucking actually, look into it? Like, I didn't question him because I didn't care that much. But, I mean, it sounded like he knew what he was talking about. It was like a conversation amongst people, like, yeah, that's fucking the song, though. I would advise you to listen to the song. That's what I was really stuck on. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, that Gucci flip-flops, I'm telling y'all asleep on it. Y'all asleep on it. But like I said, like Stan said, like, whenever I was younger, I was listening to uncensored music, so maybe that is her demographic. And, Cyborg is reaching a new demographic whenever because 16-year-old white chicks, I'm saying 16 because I hope her fans ain't younger than that, because this seems like adult music. But they're not, you would imagine, right? 16 fucking year old white girls are probably not watching the UFC. So Cyborg reaching a new demographic. But if you watch the video, I'll say it was kind of out of place, and it doesn't say like this is the UFC champion Chris Cyborg. She's just kind of like beside a bunch of teeny boppers, like a bunch of 16 and 14-year-olds, it looks like, with gang bandanas on, little bad baby, making gun signs. Cyborg's just like leaning and rocking with them. Like, out of place. It doesn't say, like, UFC champion. It doesn't ever mention Cyborg. She's just in the video making a cameo. Like, beside a bunch of gangster-ass kids. I watched the video when I heard Cyborg was in it. It was pretty funny, though. But this is what you're forced to, like, I would not be surprised if Jessica Andrade showed up in a fucking Tekashi 6ix9ine video. And you can't even be mad. And maybe you can't. See, people look at that like selling your soul, right? Like, people say, oh, I'll never do anything for the money or to grow my brand. And, they try and make you look bad for it. But you got to do what the fuck you got to do. Even Cyborg. She's not in a Bad Baby video because she's a Bad Baby fan. This is growing her demographic. She's doing this to reach new audiences. It's not because, that's what it really comes down to. And reaching a new demographic. Becoming a bigger star, because the UFC ain't doing a good job. They still don't have you a fucking division. They gave the Megan Anderson fight to somebody else. They're signing a bunch of bantamweights for Tough. So she's got to get out here and grow her own brand. Okay, we got to reach as many demographics as possible. What's up, Cash Me Outside girl? What the fuck did I get myself into? But you can't knock it. People will call that selling your soul, but that's what I call it, growing your motherfucking brand. But I want to watch this again, though. This Daniel Cormier Khabib prank. They're gonna make me pull it up on Instagram.
Oh my my God. You got my whole shit.
It cracks me up the way he says, "You got my whole shit." Oh, that's so funny to me. Sam says, Cyborg, coolest chaperone in the game. Yo, the baddest. That's the dopest. That's like a bodyguard / chaperone, right? That's the baddest like female bodyguard you could have. Like if you're the Cash Me Outside girl, you're walking around with Chris Cyborg. You know, that's probably going. You're probably ready to talk some shit. That would be dope. But no, legit. I know there's not. I don't think there's ever been like celebrity teen boxing. Right? Is that legit? Celebrity amateur boxing? But I'm just saying, Cyborg's niece versus Cash Me Outside girl? That'd be a good boxing match. Fun? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. All right. I tried. Cormier always repping OSU. That's why he'll always be my dude, says Given Share Name. Need to fly, guys and gals. All right, Leon Dubson, we'll see you. The show's just about over, I think. I mean, after we look at some of these guys on Instagram, the weekly grind, see what's going on with the MMA world and girls, what's going on, we'll be out of here, man. So thanks for coming through. We'll see you tomorrow, good sir. Oh, the Conor McGregor meme. Look at this. Oh, shit. The two best quarterbacks to take the field in Dallas today. Fucking the Cowboys, who did they just smash? Was it the Eagles? I don't know. Either way, everyone made fun of the way that McGregor was throwing the football. So they made this meme and Conor McGregor reposted it. Look at this dude and the way he throws look at his face when he's throwing the football. That is fucking hilarious. The memes. Conor McGregor reposted it, having a little bit of fun, and says, haha, you're fucking ruthless on this side. I just didn't want to rip my custom August McGregor, baby blue billionaire blazer. That was all. Great job to the Cowboys today. It's proper giddy up tonight in Dallas. I love it. See you soon. I killed him with the meme. Yeah, but he came right back. That's why he liked Conor. He's like, okay, I see you with the meme, but I'll raise you. I didn't want to wear my baby blue motherfucking billionaire blazer. Okay. I see, but that was pretty funny, though. That two best quarterbacks to take the field. They got Conor up there. Yo, the other dude had a bad day. So yeah, we had the Notorious MMA over here. It says, bringing people together for a good time the proper way. Handing out the bottles of proper 12. I see. Yoani on J check. Miss Bojangle check. Hitting the butterfly. I could have made a funny ass but disrespectful joke that I wouldn't make on this channel. But once we open up the MMA frontier, which is going to be a lot more pure comedy, I'm going to make a lot more jokes. Yo, that shit's opening up soon. I was there nearly 2 weeks ago, says Cam Murphy. When is it you get here again? Later, Leon. Almost doesn't count. All right. Dutch Style Black Cloud says, how about that? Cyborg would be the F out. Cyborg would be the F out a lot of MMA, man, says Chris. All right. Demetrius Johnson getting his brown belt recently. You would assume he already got it the way he pulled off that damn mighty plex, armbarring the motherfucker in flying air. But he got his brown belt, still recovering from his injury, looking to potentially try and come back and beat Henry Cejudo and get his belt back if possible, man. Demetrius Johnson, one of the greatest fighters of all time. Lost his belt recently via split, unanimous decision to Henry Cejudo. But once he heals up, he'll definitely be getting that rematch. Ronda Rousey opening up her own fucking like sustainable farm with goats and shit. You know what I first thought of when I saw this? I don't know if you guys know what like Santa Maria is, but they use like goats like this. Like if you listen to the Joey Diaz podcast, he's talked about it. Like it's like some fucking shit where they like put curses and voodoo on you and they like use goat's blood, bro. That's what I thought of because I don't know why. I don't know why I thought about that. Oh, there was a music video. That's why it was on my mind. There's a music video. A lot of you don't know who this is. Someone named like YWN Melly. I would be so surprised if any knew who that was. He had a bunch of fucking goats in the music video. I was like, what the fuck? It's the same goat. But Ronda Rousey having a sustainable farm. She says, what does a woman with the world's largest target on her back go to relax? Welcome to the Browsy Acres, the safe place of the rowdy ones. Me and Travis Brown are working hard every day to make baby steps toward a 100% sustainable home. Instead of using the fruits of your labor to just buy more stuff, we're investing in needing less. Watch us trial and error our way to living off-grid. Meet the animals who spend their days rolling their eyes watching us fumble around on our quest to live off the land. RondaRousey.com, link in bio. Where's Mochi? My phone died while I was out, but I'm back in action. What up, chat? Full-time salute, sir. What up, PK Boxing, the MMA? We're out of here pretty much for the day. We'll be back tomorrow. Just looking at, the MMA grind, a lot of the MMA social media, what's going on. Nate Diaz, Dustin Poirier, back and forth. UFC 200 tattoos. Amanda Nunes. I don't know who else fought on UFC 200, but they all got matching tattoos and shit. A little late, but still in time, I guess. Dylan Dennis with the fucking Spawn mask face. You know what I'm saying? Literally, Amanda Nunes and Nina Ansaroff were just fucking Spawn mask. That's what I think of. I don't know why. It looks like, or like Bane, Spawn mask. I see that shit a lot. What's up, people? But remember Amanda Nunes and Nina Ansaroff both did that shit? They were like, yo, look, we just got married. Here's my ring, Spawn mask. Halloween is coming up. Halloween's coming up. Dylan Dennis, D.D. Cooper. You don't know who D.B. Cooper is. I think he's a guy that, supposedly, I don't know the full story, stole an airplane or something and parachuted out of some shit and they never found him. And so Dylan Dennis getting on a plane. D.D. Cooper, Dylan Dennis Cooper, I guess. Spawn face. Tai Tuivasa preparing for their upcoming UFC Adelaide bouts. Mark Hunt and Tai Tuivasa. Both of them getting in shape. Two heavyweights. Mark Hunt potentially passing the torch, man. That's what this could be at UFC Adelaide. Mark Hunt said he's got one more fight left in him. He's going to be fighting at Adelaide, and this is the new Super Samoan. Thicker than a snicker. We just fat cunts, he says. Me and the Uso, Mark Hunt, grinding for December 2nd. UFC Adelaide is going to be fun. You also got Tyson Pedro. A lot of fun fights over there. Jumped out of a plane with loads of money, says Cam Murphy. Okay, yeah. That's what it was. With loads of money, and they never found him. So they continued the investigation, and they were still unclear. Chael Sonnen told a story he actually knew who the real D.D. Cooper was, and he, maybe, potentially. And he was like, I had all the details, and, I approached this guy, and I was like, listen, even if you don't want to say you're D.B. Cooper, let me say it. Because I have all the information and the facts to believe that it's you. Even if you don't want to admit it, let me tell the story with a TV show. We'll give you a nice sum of money. Just let me do the show. Even if it's not you and you don't want to admit it. And that dude turned it down. And Chael was like, that's probably still him. Funny little story from the Chael Sonnen podcast. But yeah, man. I don't know why fucking Dylan Dennis thinks he's D.B. Cooper. I guess maybe getting on a plane. I see what you did there. Maybe. Just got a bunch of money. I don't know. He's definitely in with OVO and Drizzy. I know he definitely represents OVO and fucking Drake. And we've seen Drake with Conor McGregor. So I know he definitely rocks with Drizzy Drake Rogers and shit. Chuck Liddell getting ready for his potential fight with fucking Tito Ortiz looking fucking shripped. He's got, you know what I'm saying? He's pretty fucking ripped there to, be, 80 years old. No, what is he, 50? I don't know. But he's going to be fighting Tito Ortiz, I believe. He says, these pics are my life in a nutshell right now, and I can't get enough of it. I love me some 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu with Scott, even on my day off. Meanwhile, he's in here working jiu-jitsu on his day off. Tito Ortiz, Throwback Thursday. And now, I've never fished for a fucking manta ray or nothing like this. Or I've never caught one of these. Are these the fish's eyes right here? Because it looks like it, right? It looks like a mouth and eyes. I say that because I read this and it says, we fought an 80-pound bat ray on 15-pound test fishing tackle, spinning rod for 90 minutes. After the long battle, we took a pic and released him back to the ocean. Here's my thoughts. If you're releasing this motherfucker back to the ocean, will you tell your little son to get his finger out his fucking eyes? My bad. I ain't never fished for one of these. I've went fishing before. I'm not the biggest fisherman, but I've went fishing. I got a white uncle. He took us camping, like with our white family. We went camping a few times and showed her, I was never the guy that liked to bait the hook. I don't like touching worms and putting all that. You know what I'm saying? But I do know the catch and release, and I've went fishing my fair share of times. But this looks like an eye. Am I tripping? No, nostrils. Okay, the eyes are on the top. So what, is he pinching him by the nostrils? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, but yeah, no, to me, this looked like a face, bro. So I was just making sure those weren't eyes. But nostrils, okay. Now I can see that. Mouth, nose, pinching him like by the cheeks. Okay. There we go. But yeah, I was like, damn, man. That kind of looked like he was hooking his shit in the eye. But now, catch and release, okay. Got the stingray. Look at the little man with his fist up. He's a fighter. He's already got the fighter pose. Every time, got the fist up. He's ready to fight. Karate Hottie Michelle Watterson on social media says, I can't imagine. That's all I can say. It's heartbreaking to know that there are people in this world who are trapped and lost and unspoken for. If you have the ability to help, charity... That's not how you spell charity. That's interesting. Charity/deliver fund. Bro, I'm not going to lie. I feel some type of way every time. And even though when it's for a good cause, it just kind of, I get like a flashback. I might be traumatized from my GoFundMe getting flagged down. I swear I see comedians posting GoFundMes for troll shit. I see all type of, and when it's for a good cause like this, man, I share it myself. You know what I'm saying? When I see all these fucking GoFundMes and fund accounts and all this shit, every time it makes me think, how the fuck do these people who are way bigger sometimes and sometimes even not, why don't their GoFundMes get shut down? You know that they've pissed somebody off, even if it's just one of their former opponents' family, right? Like, who did she just beat? Felice Herrig? Like, you could imagine... Maybe Felice Herrig has a couple little cousins that don't like Michelle Watterson now. Like, you beat our aunt. Or, you beat our fucking homegirl. And so, right, so they're flagging her GoFundMe, right? I'm just using that as an example. I don't think that actually happened, but I'm just saying. For any situation, if there's somebody with there's somebody that don't like them. Why the fuck is my shit getting flagged down? God damn it. That shit gets me, you guys. That shit really does when I think about it. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, ugh. But, continuing with the weekly grind, Andrei Arlovsky taking pictures with this big-ass dude. This is a UFC heavyweight. Look at this motherfucker's arms. You know he's sniffing workout powder, bro. You know it. Come on. Them kids aren't by Jenna, are they? I don't know who the baby mama is. I don't even know if one of them's a nephew and two of them are the kids, right? Because he looks like he's a little tanner than the other. I don't know. I do not know this man's children like that. I don't even know which ones are by Jenna, if he has one or two by Jenna or three. But, fair question. You got this big dude. You know he ain't under USADA guidelines. He's really big. After a handshake, my wrist didn't crack. Fuck, it's unreal huge. Pause. That's what she said. But yeah, so with that being said, man, that's pretty much the weekly grind, guys. It's been fun. I think that's the show for today. Be out of here. But, by the way, I don't know. Maybe you guys don't care about this or even want to hear. But it's nothing MMA related. We'll end the show with the song. But yeah, by the way, the show is over. So thank you guys for coming through. Everybody that came through and watched the show. MMA Frontier, man, I think we gotta get that going. I gotta get me a canteen. I got the fucking overalls, bro. We're gonna make the MMA Frontier, and that's where we're bringing out the fucking disrespect. But Stamina MC, it's gonna be laced with the facts. Even if people disagree, I'm gonna have the facts to back up what I'm talking, and it's gonna be for fun, for comedy, but it's gonna be a little less professional. MMA Frontier, because something's gotta give. try to make this thing more professional and we get a ceiling. It's like, what? Do you want me to be a fucking asshole? Do you want me to be unprofessional? Do you want me to fucking smoke weed on camera? Like, how the fuck do I do worse after I get more professional? Like, if you look at my popular videos, literally 8 months ago, we had a video hit 100,000 views. 10 months ago, 80,000. In the last 3 months, we can't fucking crack 1,000 views unless we're doing a fight companion to save our fucking life. Even on a McGregor, even when McGregor and Khabib, the most popular shit was out. Like, our shit is under some bullshit. So, we're going to get the MMA Frontier pop, and we're going to have some fun. We're just going to start having fun, man. Might be a little, I don't even care. It's not like I'm planning on getting a fucking GoFundMe without it getting flagged down. So, if you get mad and you want a thumbs down shit, that's how I'm feeling at this point. It is what it is. So, thank you guys for who came through and who watched this show. But I also was going to say, if any of you guys do watch NFL or NBA, and y'all motherfuckers want to battle it out with me on FanDuel, and my brother and some of my homies, we be doing them little, you know, like dollar tournaments. You can like pay $1 and get in, or 50 cents, or sometimes, you know, like every week we do like one that's like $5. I just got into it. But what I'm saying is, if you want to get on that, let me know, and I'll give you a referral code, and you'll get like a free fucking 10 or 15 bucks. And we can do that, because with the way that the MMA channel has been under attack from fucking YouTube or GoFundMe or trolls or whoever the fuck, you know, I'm just doing like the daily live shows and shit like that. But I'm not as fucking putting my life into this. You know, I was putting everything into this, but once I realized it doesn't matter, you know, I'm kind of like, all right, we're still we're still going to grind every day, but I'm going to start working elsewhere and paying attention to some other shit. So, still full-time MMA, but it might be the full-time Frontier on Fridays. Watching a little NFL, watch a little NBA, PFL, Bellator. Hey, thank you guys for being a part of the full-time family and checking out the show, guys. With that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments, and we'll be back tomorrow every weekday. We got to get a set time, but we got to get a work schedule so we know when we can work. So, I'm out. See you after we play a song. Jon Jones, Daniel Cormier, Coco remix. Man, I promise. Let's go. UFC Yankovic. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Now we're out. See ya. Give me number 3. Large size. Extra fries. Jon Jones in love with the Coco. He shoot that shit right through his nose. Then he sandblast all the hoes. Jon Jones in love with the Coco. Jon Jones is a bitch. Jon Jones got limp dick. Or is it just them steroids, ho? Anywhere you see some coke, you see Jon Jones. Look, there he go. There he is, ho. Gusserson beat you, you fucking crackhead. Had you in the hospital, snapping pics, looking half dead. In that first fight was a fluke. Oh shit, I ate too much. I think I'm about to puke. Daniel Cormier loves ho-hos, cake, chicken, Snickers, Reese's bars, and them Rolos. Yeah. This fat bitch can't get no hoes, cause he done stretched out all his old clothes. Yeah. I'm about to come take Fatty's belt at the press conference, looking at me like I'm a patty melt. I'm human, bro. So somehow I hope you make the weight. I ain't going for that shit that you pulled off at Towel Gate.